State 4 straight times during the current season, including a shutout win in the CCHA title game just 2 weeks ago. But this time, Lake Superior would win when it counted most, stunning mighty Michigan in sudden death overtime. This game was deadlocked at 4 in overtime when the Lakers pulled out another sudden death win. Brad Wilner's pass from the right point is one-timed in by Rob Valasevic, and Lake Superior State advances to the NCAA semifinals for the 3rd straight year, scoring at 2:31 of the extra session, upsetting Michigan. The final score, Lake State 5 and Michigan 4.
I think a lot of our motivation tonight was that they had beaten us 4 times, and I think a lot of people doubted that we could beat them. You know, I think that personally was one of our goals, to show the hockey world that.
It's the Lake Superior State Lakers against the Harvard University Crimson. Hello, everyone. I'm Frank Mazzocco, along with Bob Norton. And Bob, we're down to the final 4 teams in NCAA Division ice hockey play. Today, it'll be Lake Superior State against Harvard, 2 teams that really pride themselves in outstanding defense.
Lake Superior, tremendous defensive team, particularly in the center of the ice. Get great transition offense out of center zone defense. Harvard has tremendous speed.
Harvard is a team that needed only 1 victory in the East Regionals to make it here, a 7-1 win over New Hampshire, getting a key goal in that game from Sean McCann, their senior captain.
There's a tight game going into the 3rd period, but Sean McCann blows it open with this goal, make it 3-1 on a power play. They went on to score 3 goals in 3 minutes, ended up winning 7-1.
Lake State needed 2 victories, including this overtime thriller against Michigan.
Well, they hadn't beaten Michigan all year, but Rob Valasevic, the big guy out of Mount Clemens, Michigan, puts them into the NCAA semifinals.
Rob Valasevic said he's not even sure how he shot that puck into the net. Still, he will get some help offensively for the Lakers from Gerald Tolaire, a guy who had a big weekend. 6 points. Those 3 goals were a hat trick.
What a great year Gerald Tolaire has had from Winnipeg, Manitoba, out of Estevan in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. 3 goals, 3 assists in the West Regional, and as you said, the MVP of the tournament.
Now for Harvard, they also will get some punch from the defense in scoring from Sean McCann. He had a pure hat trick in the ECAC playoff.
De La Salle High School, North York, Ontario, 16 power play goals on the season. Just one of the top hockey players in the country. Plays left wing on the power play, great offensively and defensively.
And a Hobie Baker finalist to boot. All right, Bob and I have a position high atop the Civic Center. To get a different perspective on today's games, we'll turn things over to the 3rd man on our crew, Wally Shaver.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. And I'm down right at ice side right now. And you might notice the boards here are clear. It's the only rink in North America that is set up that way. The idea came over from Europe, where figure skaters and hockey players there had a real good view of the action when it was along the wall. So they incorporated it into this building when it was constructed back in 72. It doesn't pose any problems for the majority of the players on the ice. However, the odd time there might be a play up along the wall with a long shot coming at the goalie, and he might have difficulty seeing it out of the feet of the spectators. Whether that'll be an issue, who knows? Let's go back upstairs.
All right, Wally, thank you very much. So a lot like the Boston Garden, the Civic Center here in St. Paul is the scene of a lot of historic amateur play. And it's this weekend that we'll see Division I ice hockey unfold. We'll be back.
Discover the defensive training secrets of America's finest baseball school in an exciting videotape. Baseball World's Defensive Drills video features professional scout and instructor Tommy Mansky and the same revolutionary new training techniques that have produced Baseball World's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. The Defensive Drills video vastly improves players' arm strength, running speed, quickness, agility, and infield and outfield defensive skills. Even coaches practice organization. Lou Pavlovich, Jr., editor of Collegiate Baseball magazine, calls it a masterpiece, the best defensive drill video ever produced. Many professional players are excited about this videotape. Just ask Atlanta Braves superstar Fred McGriff.
This is an instructional video that gets results.
Baseball World's Defensive Drills video makes a great gift and benefits players of all ages and ability levels. To order your copy for only $29.95, have your credit card ready and call toll-free. 1-800-352-2121. 352-2121.
It really worked for me.
You will receive cash.
Pass. Sports stuff.
Hi, I'm Steve Garagiola, and I got to tell you, if you're a sports fan, you got to have Pass. See the Wings, Tigers, Pistons, boxing, soccer, tennis, golf, summer coolers, and a whole lot more. And you can see all this for less than 35 cents a day. and you can still get in on that special installation offer. But when March is over, so is the deal. So call your cable company or 1-800-4R-SPORTS and get cash now.
Hey, it's swing time. It's swing time. 70 live games begin on Pass April 6th. The Tigers take on the Red Sox. Watch it live on Pass daytime.
State Lakers already have a couple of championships under their belts, and the Crimson of Harvard won their one and only title here in St. Paul in 1989.
Blaine Locker out of Medicine Hat, Alberta, the top goalie in the CCHA, 9 career shutouts, 5 consecutive shutouts this season, played for Melville in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. He's a great one. The Harvard goaltender in an alternation, Aaron Israel out of Carlisle, Massachusetts, went to Hotchkiss School, number 1 in the country in wins, 3 shutouts, number 2 in the country in goals against average.
Harvard, a team that won the ECAC regular season, and Lake State, and coached there by Jeff Jackson, finished second in the CCHA.
Native of Detroit, he's got 127 wins, 3 CCA playoff championships, 1 NCAA championship, 3 of the last 6 years they have been in the NCAA semifinals. And there's Ron Tomasoni coming home a bit for Ron Tomasoni from Evelyn, Minnesota. 74, 29, and 16. 3 ECAC regular season championships, 1 ECAC title, and 1 Beanpot title.
There's a look at John Elvey, who will be the linesman today. Our referees are Brian Ritchie and Bill Wisenan, and we're just about ready to go. Perry Cohagen's line will start for the Crimson with Chris Baird on the left and Brian Farrell on the right. Meanwhile, Lake Superior State will have, I guess, their 4th line. It looks like they might start Dan Angelelli, the right wing, Jay Ness at center, and Jason Trzynski over on the left side. We're ready to go, the drop of the puck, and this first semifinal game is underway. Played up on the far side and grabbed on the far wall by Sean McCann, who relays it to center, and is flipped right back in by Stephen Barnes. McCann goes after it. He's teamed up on defense with Peter McLaughlin, number 20. McLaughlin takes a high hit. They try to pry the puck away from him. We might have a sticking penalty coming up here quickly.
I think it's going to be, McLaughlin 20 for high sticking in the corner, and that's going to be a factor over the course of this game. There's a high stick right by McLaughlin, deep in the corner. You can see it up on the chest, actually, of number 8, Mike Morin. And one of the factors in this game, I think, is going to be how well Lake Superior can press Harvard. And here on the just after the first face-off, they press them real hard. And under that pressure, McLaughlin takes a penalty, high sticking. Lake Superior on power play where they're 26% effective, 63 out of 247. Harvard shorthand, they've stopped 31. They've been scored on 31 times out of 179 shorthands. They have 5 shorthanded goals. Watch out for Stevie Martins. He has 3 shorthanded goals, Frank.
Now back behind the nest, Rob Balasevic battling for it. It comes loose. Brian Farrell works it up on the far wall, gets it out at center ice to Chris Baird. Baird bringing it in shorthanded, then he runs out of real estate, and Balasevic back at center. Leads it to the line as they try to find Kurt Miller. Miller dumps it in deep. We're early in this hockey game. There's no score. And Jay Ness's shot is knocked down in front, and while Jeff Jackson is not likely to decline a power play so early in the game, it does break up the flow. You're not able to get all your players in as quickly as you'd like.
Well, one of the things they were able to do, though, is forecheck Harvard and force them into a penalty with forechecking pressure by Lake Superior.
It's wrapped away again by the Crimson. They bring it in deep again. A nice rush by Tom Holmes, and it rolls away from him to the far wall. Now cleared up on the near side, and again, Harvard there to get to the loose puck in control. Minute 5 to go in the power play. And from deep in the zone, Derek McGuire, the senior defenseman, shoots it all the way down. Both teams making some quick changes. Now from behind the net, Clayton Beddoes races up on the left wing boards. His pass goes off a skate. And the Crimson are shutting down the passing lanes early, and most of those lanes have been in the Lake State zone. They haven't been able to get out. Barnes to center, flipping it in, and Israel watches it skip wide of the net. Sean Soler tips it behind the net. It rolls back to Barnes, who fires a goal! First shot of the game, and Lake State has a 1-0 lead. A power play tally for Stephen Barnes.
Well, what happens on this goal is that this is a rush-up ice, and on the rush-up ice, they get lost in the defensive end, and watch what happens. Everybody comes into the defensive end. They're chasing the puck. Now watch what happens right here. Watch right here. Everybody's inside, tucked inside. They get 4 guys tucked inside. Look at all that open ice. Here's what happens. Barnes all alone, wide open out at the point. Rush up ice, pass back to the point. Quickly pass. Barnes with the shot. Lake Superior power play goal for Steve Barnes. His 3rd goal of the season, 4th on power play, 6th of the season.
1:47 the time as you look at Stephen Barnes. Senior from Ravenhurst, Ontario. Lakers up 1-0. Now rolls loose on the wall. The Lakers trying to force it in deep, and Luke Bodie behind the Crimson net gets it out at center ice. Turning again, it is Brad Wilner who fires the long pass to center, and then Mike Warren at center. One times it deep in the zone. Bodie behind his own net had to avoid a check. It's loose up on the far side. Wayne Strawn is there for the Lakers. Strawn nearly pried it free. Rolls loose right in front. In a skate. Angelelli goes after it. He locks up with Bodie again, and Angelelli goes down. Now they grind out on the far wall. Angelelli, loose puck, tried to play it to the point, but it inadvertently put it between his 2-point men. The puck goes all the way down. 5 skaters aside. Lake State with a 1-0 lead, and now we have a whistle and an offside or an icing. Let's see, they're going to call it an icing there with that dump in from center ice.
It's an icing call. It didn't quite reach the red line. The goal, Steve Barnes, his 6th of the season, 4th on power play, 147. Assist to Mike Bourne and Sean Talaire. So the penalty to Peter McLaughlin, costly for Harvard early on, as Lake Superior within the first 2 minutes on the board.
And that's why Jeff Jackson wouldn't decline that penalty, even if he wasn't able to get his 3rd and 4th lines out that early.
They've been an excellent first period team, outscoring their opponent 67-29 as Lake Superior. Harvard 53-27, also very good in the first.
Now it rolls free to the corner. The Crimson yet to get a shot on goal. There's only been 1 on goal, and it's gone in. Far side, it's flipped out at center ice by Clayton Beddoes and then dumped all the way down. Israel watches it behind the net. Here's Beddoes in the corner. He's blocked on the play by Sean McCann. They tangle up. The puck comes free. Sean Talaire is plastered by McCann. What a hit at open ice, and now the puck goes out of the rink. Oh, he throws it pretty good.
One of the big differences in this Harvard team from the previous several years, since their national championship team, they are nasty on defense. They will really belch you. They'll give you a whack. And here, Sean McCann just levels Talaire in the defensive zone. Excellent hit. Both by defensemen, that's a great record, and he's got 16 on the power play. But one of the things he does is he just is a tough kid in the defensive end of the ice.
He's also been named first team East All-American here this week. Out of the corner, Gerald Talaire works on the wall, gets it right in front, fired a shot wide. Lakers doing a pretty good job of getting to the loose puck right now. Into the corner, they drop it once more. Miller takes a hit, rolls up on the far side, and still in skates, and finally wrapped out of play once again by Lake State's Rob Balasevic, and we get another stoppage.
Early on in the game, Lake Superior controlling the tempo. The way to beat Harvard is to keep them in their defensive end. Lake Superior is one of the best teams in the country, exceptionally well coached in terms of forechecking and pressing the defenders up against the wall. Harvard cannot get the puck out of their own zone in the first 2 or 3 minutes because Lake Superior's forecheck is so devastating. It killed Maine last year. It wasn't until God Snow in the 3rd period and fired the puck out of the zone as the goalie that Maine was able to come back.
Here the Crimson are only able to fire it all the way down. They just avoid the icing, however. Low forechecking pressure applied by Chris Baird, but the Lakers are able to get it back the other way. Back to get it for Harvard is Ashlyn Halfnight. Takes it up on the far wall. Tries to get around Miller, does, but lost the puck. Lakers regain control. They get it to Balasevic. He goes deep. He centers it. They have 2 men in the slot, but the pass was just a little bit behind. Now Miller again pumps it in behind the net. Clear to the point. Here's Barnes waiting, shooting, right on. Israel making the save, and he holds on. So with the timeout on the ice, we'll take a break. The score, Lake State 1 and Harvard 0.
The sun hits the court and just nails you right in the face, where I'm not really used to that.
It was hot, maybe 20 degrees hotter out here.
When it gets hot, it gets very sticky and your feet get hot, and it's just all around just Africa hot.
Trying to stay cool. This is unbelievable.
Prime plays the world.
The sixth goal of the year by Stephen Barnes, a power play goal, is the only goal of this hockey game, and it came at 1:47.
Harvard, no shots attempted in the first 4 minutes and 17 seconds.
Rolling loose at the side of the net, and it rolled just away at the last second. Not even a swing bop.
Nope. It's all been down here in the defensive end, and that's the great forechecking pressure of Lake Superior. That's their style of game, and you have to neutralize that if for the Crimson.
Nearly broke up the rush. Now we have a player hauled down at the blue line. And I think Jay Ness is going to go either for a high stick or an interference.
Yeah, I think he's going to go for interference on Stevie Martins. Martins has tremendous speed coming down the left wing side, and we're going to see with the hold. There's Martins, fastest guy on the Harvard Crimson team, tremendous speed, and there's Ness with the hook. Interference, they called it, but they had a choice. They could have gone holding, interference, hooking. They chose interference, and it's at 4:36. This is where Harvard is devastating. Harvard on the power play, one of the top power play teams in college hockey. 64 of 187, 34% of the time they score. 1 out of every 3. 17% of the time the offense scores against Lake Superior's defense. That's pretty good.
Now the Crimson set up down by a goal, looking to tie it here in the first period, and the shot comes all the way through to the near boards.
That's what they try to do. They try to work it around the strong side with 3 players on the right side. They try to hit McCann, a right shot on the left side. He's got it down.
McCann in the corner, now playing it back to the point. And a little quick return pass to Baird. Long shot screened. It was tipped wide of the net. Martins jumps on it in the far corner. Martins plays it back to the line. Here's Baird again to McCann off his skate. He fires, and Walker blocks that one away to the corner. Still a minute 20 on the power play. Martins again. Looks for McCann. A nice deflection in the middle. I think Mike Morin got his stick on it to tip it away. Now McCann got it behind the net. Here's Brian Farrell to set it up. Martins, Baird, shot deflected by a Lake State stick, and it goes into the corner again. Here's Martins once more, cuts in, hangs on to it, then it's cleared. Baird centers it to McCann, and they just can't tee it up to get it on goal. Baird again at the line. 55-0 on the power play. Now they finally misplay the puck, and Morin shoots it down.
Well, you can see why they're very good. They just zing the puck around beautifully. Almost had McCann set up to the right of the net. Left of the net, actually.
Now here's Baird leading the rush out of his own end, flips it up on the left side, and as he got it to Corey Gustafson, the play is offside at the Lake Superior blue line. Still 34 left on the man advantage.
See, Frank, what Harvard wants to do on power play is to get you moving and adjusting to the passing of the puck on the right side of their power play. Try to get you to overshift. Lake Superior did an excellent job of maintaining in-zone shorthand discipline, and were able to cut off a number of cross passes, particularly to McCann on the inside. They're trying to hit McCann all the time inside. That one a little bit behind him, and Lake State, great job there of defending against that pass. There's a cross, and doesn't quite get it.
Still a half minute to go on the Crimson power play. They're back in their own end to try to regroup, but working it up on the far side. Half night. Down to center ice, Lou Bodie. Half night again, and he backhands it in the Lake State zone. 15 on the man advantage. Clearing attempt is blocked. The second attempt to get past half night is back at center. It rolls free, and the Lakers nearly jumped on it as Jason Trzynski had an opportunity. Maybe one more rush if they hurry. No, it's going to dissolve at center ice as Beddoes comes up with the puck and the interception. Goes back into his own end. As the penalty is over, we're back to 5 skaters aside. And we lose the puck here, and we'll gain a face-off. So they weathered the storm on that penalty to Ness.
Weathered the storm because of superb shorthand defense by Lake Superior. You know, whenever Harvard tried to make that cross pass to McCann, they bothered the pass or the passes sufficiently that it was never clean. What McCann does a superb job of is one-time the shot on the pass by the goal crease or out by the top of the face-off circle.
Now the Crimson getting ready for this face-off. Perry Cohagen centering this line. Ben Coughlin is on the left. Jason Kermanos is on the right. So this is the, in effect, Harvard's third line, minus their normal third-line center, Kirk Nielsen. So we'll see if Ron Tomasoni continues to make adjustments. This shot never reaches the net, then trickles into the corner. Quick centering pass. They try to tee it up. Wetherell spins and sends it back behind the net again. There's Brock Dalasevic, number 16. He takes the hit. Tipped away for a moment by Brian Lonzinger, number 4. Now Civic nurses it up along the ball. Brought in deep by the defenseman Wetherill. And on top of him was Perry Cohagen, the center iceman. Puck comes free, and Harvard will now skate it to center ice. From center, Cohagen fires one, and it's kicked away by Locker. Wetherill gets it, relays it off the glass to get into the line, but not out. And a good play to come back. Jason Karmanos keeps it in. In the slot, a shot goes behind the net. Wrapped up on the near boards. And still loose at the line. No one really gaining control. Miller went after it, but he was spun off the puck. Now it's dropped back into the zone by Joe Cragen. Pass back to Cragen on the near side. They work it to Derek McGuire. McGuire cuts in the middle. Gets the shot off. A nice one. A big save by Locker. Rebound cleared immediately. Meadows leads a 3-on-3 rush to the Crimson line as they bring it in there offside on the left wing. But nice save by Locker. And very quick coverage in front of him to prevent a rebound. With the timeout on the ice, we'll take a break. The score, Lake Superior 1, Harvard 0.
It's showtime. Showtime. Hey! Whoa!
Outdrive your partner with this half-hour instructional video, free with a 1-year subscription to Golf Digest, just $19.77. Call 800-522-5333. Imagine this video and Golf Digest. Call 800-522-5333.
I'll tell you, Harvard has not had many chances as this period has gone along, but they get one here. Just a snapshot coming across the slot by Kirk Nielsen. Snaps that one off.
Barnes doing a nice job of clearing it, and the man you're looking at, Clayton Meadows, with a good rush up the other way, but he was stung because his winger went off ahead of him.
Harvard just has not had much open ice. That shot by Nielsen, one of the few opportunities they've had over the course of this game, as we see. Looks like he's banged up a little bit, Clayton Meadows.
I think he took that hit at the blue line right as the whistle went for the offside, got sandwiched between a couple of players. And maybe rung his bell just a little bit.
Yeah, he got hit as he was penetrating through the middle on the rush by Ferrari, and McCann got popped pretty good, and that's, I'm sure, what's shaking him up.
He is their leading scorer, by the way, Clayton Meadows, with his 51 points this year, 22 of them goals. Here's the hit.
Here's McCann, who's got a great hit. Look at him on the shoulder check. Ferrari, sort of incidental to that. He gets sort of bumped into, but it's the shoulder by McCann that was the hit on that play.
So the face-off will be to the left of Locker. Still a 1-0 hockey game. The shots now are at least even at 3-3. And this loose puck rolls back into Crimson territory. Tipped away by Lou Bodie, but he tipped it into a crowd. He'll have to try the other door in a hurry, but the Lakers come storming in.
Yeah, they keep losing the puck, does Harvard, on breakout. You can just see the pressure by Lake Superior. Harvard cannot get the puck out of their own end. When Lake Superior dumps it in, they just spend the whole time up against the wall trying to get it out.
Warren battling back for the puck along with Wayne Strawn and Matt Alvey on this line for Lake Superior State. There, an outlet pass misfires, and that first pass is ever so important on your own end.
They're going to be up against the wall again here.
Here's Bodie once more. This time he threads the needle of Martins. 3-on-2 as they hit the line. They stay onside. Drop pass to Gustafson. He had no pointman to go back to and had to shoot it into a crowd. Now it rolls loose at the side of the net again. Tom Holmes is there. And now Gustafson for Harvard tried to play it ahead. Picked off on the far boards by Mike Moore, and he shoots it all the way down. And an icing call against Lake Superior State as we come up on the halfway point of this period.
See, the reason that there were no pointmen on that 3-on-3 rush is that the two defensemen are back so far in the zone on the breakout because they've been pressed up against the wall by the Lake Superior forecheck that they're too far behind to complement a 3-on-3 rush. So it's Lake Superior's offensive forecheck that keeps the Harvard defense back in the play so that when Martins was looking for a delay pass, he didn't have anybody to pass to.
Nice to be able to come out together, isn't it?
Well, if you can come up with the play, with the rush, it helps. And in that case, they just had a simple 3-on-3 rush that they were able to handle. This is an exceptionally well-coached team, Lake Superior. Jeff Jackson does a great job. The Harvard well-coached as well, but Jackson has done a good job early on in the game neutralizing Harvard's speed, keeping them back up against their own end.
Nielsen, Coughlin, Karmanos out for the Crimson right now. They're down by a goal. They'll try to set it up in their own end once again. The forechecking pressure has them bottled up. Nielsen had trouble. Here's a shot turned away by Israel. Boy, they're on him in a hurry.
It's a turnover. You see, they have the puck first, but they can't get the puck smoothly out of the zone. Cough it up, give
From center, he shoots it in. Barnes, first man of the puck, playing it around. Kurt Miller there to pick it up for the Lakers. Gets it out at center ice. That's shut down at center and dumped in by Derek McGuire. Now Barnes behind his own line again. Lakers have a 1-0 lead. Batted with the glove to the line, not out. A blast goes off a skate. It was fired by Lonsinger. And now Kurt Miller has spun off the puck. Germano centers it. No one's home, and it's all the way back to center. Back to the D. Lonsinger. From center, flips it in, and the Crimson will make a line change on the go. Here's Jay Ness. Outlet pass is picked off at the line. The Crimson can't bring it in. They give it outside. Now they're trapped. Here comes Petrucci shooting, and he shot it high on the far wall. Cohagen jammed up. Now battling for it is Brian Farrell, but he's outnumbered 2-1. Pry it away from him. Barnes is there to get it. Barnes spins it right back in behind the net. Rolls to the corner. And rolls back the other way. Angelelli and Cohagen go after it. From behind the net, half night. He throws it through a crowd and luckily gets it out at center ice. Now Wetherill for Lake Superior State, launching it in. Little dump, now a little chase. Here's Angelelli going to the corner. Played back behind the net once more. Lou Bodie is there, and they are knotted up in their own end. Bodie in the corner. Tries to feed a pass, or he tried to force that one. It might have been his only option, I don't know, but Wetherill intercepts and then dumped it in, but shot it out of play.
Well, when you're breaking out against Lake Superior, they very much clog the middle of the ice. The best passes are on the perimeter or indirect off the boards. When you try to pass one right into the middle, you end up in nothing but trouble. I tell you, Lake Superior against Harvard comes into the zone, snaps one off, and this is where they're very effective as they come over. Right now, you're just going to see the back pass coming out of the zone. Look, right there. See what happens? Tremendous pressure. You have 1, 2, 3 forwards pressing that Harvard defense right up against the wall. When you do that, you just can't get it out of the zone. Harvard has got to get the dump up for themselves, put pressure on Lake Superior, get the puck down the other end of the ice. They don't like to do that, Frank. What they like to do is carry and make plays through center zone. You're going to dump it in against these guys.
Now they're able to carry it in on this rush, and the shot goes off a skate. Perry Cohagen fired that one off the pass. Now back the other way. Sean Hilaire shooting. That's in the crowd. Another shot. That's deflected. High slide. It's tipped away from Lonsinger. And a good recovery out at center ice by Sean Hilaire to break up that dangerous Harvard rush. Now to center again. A possible two-man break. They bring it in. This is Martins on the far wall. Corey Gustafson goes to the corner for it. Swept away from him. And Beddoes was waiting for it, but it's tipped away from him. So Clayton Beddoes, after taking a thundering jolt, is back on the ice for Lake Superior State. We've got about 8 minutes to go here in period number 1. And a power play goal in the opening 2 minutes is the only goal of this hockey game. Rolls off the stick of Martins and back out at center ice. Martins, number 27, is the Crimson's leading scorer. He's going off on a change as Harvard regroups with Beddoes doing the forechecking. Mike Moore with an interception, launches this one in on goal, and Israel has to make the stop. Now a little one-touch pass at center ice, fails to click, brought in by Alvey, and it's offside at the Harvard blue line. There is a timeout on the ice with the score Lake Superior 1, Harvard 0. This is an NCAA Productions telecast.
April's the month for aces and races on Prime. Check out the Power Game when IBM ATP Tour Tennis takes center court from net court to net speed. It's the NHRA Gator National. Keep in stride with one of the world's toughest tests of endurance, the Boston Marathon. Plus, it's man versus mountain with the World Extreme Skiing Championship. So come April, get ready to serve and swerve around the world with Prime.
We're back at the St. Paul Civic Center. The championship series going on. I'm in amongst a whole bunch of Uper fans down here. A really small city, but there's also people from St. Paul. These guys right here are skipping word. You flew to the boss. Here they are, right here.
Okay, Wally. Wally would make a good Uper. Those folks from the Upper Peninsula just have a riot of a time at a hockey game, and so does Wally.
Smallest state school in the state of Michigan, Lake Superior.
What a winning tradition they have built. 3 straight years now in the championship finals. winners of it 2 years ago. Here's a shot turned away by Locker. One of the better scoring chances of the period from the fourth line left winger, Joe Cragen. Back out at center, bounds at the line. Wetherill back to recover. Cragen pressing in. Cragen, the freshman, number 9, from Kitchener. At the blue line, they can't hold the zone. They'll have to regroup. Now it's pulled away by Morin. He drops it back for Barnes. Barnes pass a little too far for Morin, and back to get it now is Ashlyn Halfnight. It's loose in the slot. It'll help from Ben Coughlin to clear. Still not out of the zone, but back behind the play, we're going to get a whistle and a penalty, perhaps on Morin. Or do we have a hand pass? I'm not sure here, Bob.
Well, it might end up being a matching penalty in front of the net. See if we can take a look at it and find out what it is. Oh, hitting the goaltender. I think that's going to be the penalty call. Mike Morin bounces into the goaltender, and I think Morin's going off for hitting the goalie. That's a point of emphasis, and I think it's been a point of emphasis that in a number of times this year I've seen missed, but right there, Morin, who would probably contend he was pushed into the goalie by Halfnight, sort of leaned into him at any rate, and Harvard's on power play. And one of the things that Lake Superior cannot do is take penalties that are unnecessary. Offensive zone penalty, whacking the goaltender, not a good penalty, and you put Harvard back on the power play again. They only had one shot on their last power play ever.
This is number 2, Morin off. The time of the penalty, 13:32. Power play for Lake Superior will have Rob Balasevic there, who's helping with a little maintenance over on the far wall.
Yeah, that's the official call. It's checking the goalie.
As in many multi-purpose buildings, the ice new here only as of Sunday did it go in. So the first game or two will take its toll on new ice.
Jack Parker this morning was commenting that he thought the ice surface was excellent when he came out here and his team practiced on it for a few minutes this morning. He was very pleased.
There's a look at Harvard on the power play this afternoon. Just the one shot. Now it's flipped in over the line. Martins goes in after it. And he is being watched by Brad Wilner, number 13 for Lake State. And at the blue line, they can't hold the zone. They can't afford to be throwing it away there because they're getting so few scoring chances. Now they have to regroup, and they're having trouble because of Balasevic's checking out at center. It's dumped back in. Balasevic drives it to the line. A nice block by Chris Baird. Baird waits. Gets a little return from McGuire, and now they play catch with it. Left side pass right on. A nice save by Locker, making the save on Sean McCann, or at least on Martins. And it's back out at center ice.
Yeah, they love that one-time shot. It's Martins or Farrell on the right side and McCann on the left side.
Here's Martins with the puck. Farrell will go after it behind the net. He picks it up. That's McCann with him there, number 10. McCann has it. 1:04 in the power play. McGuire fires. That's deflected and then steered away by Locker. McCann again. Senior defenseman to the line, and it gets away from McGuire. Derek McGuire back to get it with Beddoes chasing him. Back out at center ice, Chris Baird. Baird trying to get in around Wilner. Circles the net. They have the man advantage. Here's McCann. Waits to the side. Barrel shot, an easy save for Locker. A tougher one on the rebound. Nice right skate save, and it's back out at center. Back to get it is Lou Bodie. And then it's driven in by Baird with just 25 to go in the power play. Keith Aldridge behind the net, leading it out for Beddoes at center ice. It was too far, but doesn't matter because they're a man short. Now they jam up single-handedly. Bottling him up is Jason Trzynski. And that'll lead off Prussian seconds on the penalty. Bodie from in front of his own net. Little drop pass on the side. Holmes had to reach back for it. Finally, they get it to Halfnight. He gets it in. Gustafson in deep as the penalty is over. We're 5 skaters aside. We got about 4 minutes left of the period. Locker, another key save. And to center ice comes Wayne Strawn. Strawn has checked off the puck as he pulled the trigger. Bodie gets it ahead. His pass deflects around. The Crimson finally break in with it. And back to do some checking is Kurt Miller to break up that rush. Back out at center. It gets away from Scott McCabe. And it hops loose back into the corner again. Barnes cleared it. Or Barnes at the point keeping it in. And then it's tipped in deep to Lonzinger again. Loose behind the net. Good strong forecheck by Strawn. He puts it right in front. Was deflected and it came right through.
Yeah, that deflection by Israel and that pass across. He really had to make that play. Lonzinger was defending the forward right in front of the net.
And that forward was Kurt Miller, who had a great chance to tip it in. With the timeout, our score remains 1-0.
Children are the largest group of Americans living below the poverty line. They have to reach higher for what others take for granted. Health care, balanced meals, encouragement to learn. But with help early on, children in your community can gain the skills to get out from below the poverty line. It takes programs like Success by 6 and people like you to help them take the first step. Call to learn more. Change the world of a child, and you change the world.
Boy, Locker makes a couple of great stops right here on Brian Farrell. Farrell will turn Aldridge, Keith Aldridge, the defense around. There's the shot. Aldridge trying to get up Farrell in for the rebound. Locker, great save with the pad. Outstanding hockey player, Brian Farrell. 20 goals on the power play for the season, one of the tops in the country. But Wayne Locker out of Medicine Hat, Alberta. Superb goaltending there.
Puts him in the top 3 in the nation. That is awfully good company. Far side of the rink, Ben Coughlin trying to take it in deep. He's upended. 3:20 left to go in the first period. Long clearing attempt. If it's going to miss by a mile, so it will be icing against Lake Superior State. I'm not exactly sure why Sean Tolaire was so desperate to get it so high to get it out of there.
In the last few minutes, Harvard has been able to, at least a little bit, turn the tempo of the period around. From the penalty on, and slightly before the penalty, even though when they get in their own end, they are still getting pressed by Lake Superior, they have moved the puck up into the Lake Superior defensive end, changed the balance of shots around, and changed the offensive emphasis down to the Lake Superior and impressing Lake Superior here, rather than the other way around.
We showed you Sean McCann's goal in that 7-1 win over New Hampshire by the Crimson of Harvard. You know, making changes like this, Bob, strategy-wise, is a given in the locker room between periods. How tough is it to do on the bench during the period?
Well, it's very difficult. You have to get the message to the kids that it's hard. It looks like you got a problem down at the other end of the ice. They're getting some water, and they're just going to put it. They must have a bare spot, rather, right there by the boards. And if that's the case early in the game, we may be working on that kind of thing for a while. They sometimes can fix it with the Zamboni between periods. And I think from a strategy standpoint, Harvard knew what Lake Superior is going to do. Everybody in the country knows how Lake Superior plays you. They're one of the best teams in the country, putting you up against the wall, and that's how they got here, and they played very well to get here, beating Michigan for the first time this season. But Harvard cannot play well if they're backed up in their own end. They do not do a great job of getting the puck out when they're forechecked against their own boards. It hasn't happened to them very much this season. They're not used to that style of play. They are much, much better if they can flow out of their zone and get some rush up the ice going again. Thus far in the game, they haven't been able to do a lot of that, although they've done a little bit more over the last 5 to 6 minutes. Ron Tomasoni from Evelyn played his college hockey at RPI. He's done a tremendous job at Harvard. He's got a great personality. He's a superb guy with the kids. He worked very effectively with them. Applied for an assistant job with Billy Clary by writing out his resume on a piece of paper. And Billy said, yeah, I like what I read, and I hired him.
Wouldn't it be easier for all of us if we could do it that way? 3 minutes left in regulation, or in the first period, I beg your pardon, and a 1-0 lead for Lake Superior State. They've only had 4 shots on goal. One's gone in. Harvard, meanwhile, as Bob has mentioned, turning it up here just a little bit in the last 4 or 5 minutes or so. Come up with now 9 shots on goal. Locker leaves it at the side of the net. Now Wilner behind. And we may have had someone in the crease.
Yeah, I think we have a crease violation. Face-off's going to be outside the zone.
That whistle will go right away if an attacking player skates through the crease and in any way interferes with the vision or even contacts the goaltender.
Well, I think we had a matching roughing penalty here, but we'll see it. See if there's a crease violation here. There it was. There was a crease violation. But I think in addition, we have a matching roughing penalty. I don't think they're calling a crease violation because the face-off's inside the zone. I think what they're calling here is matching roughing. And for Darren Wetherill for Lake Superior,
Wetherill and
Ben
Coughlin,
Coughlin, watch it in the corner. That's it, right in front. The two of them right in front of the net.
Yeah, they're swinging pretty good at one another. Wetherill and Coughlin. It's a rough at 17-17. We remain 5 skaters aside on the ice because they're coincidental minors. From the draw, here's a backhand shot taken by Joe Cragen that goes wide. Now in the corner, they try to work it out. Ian Kennish. Kennish trying to get it free. Kenish, number 28, a senior from Toronto. Now Barnes spins away, and Kenish chases him. Back to the near wall, and out to center ice to Jay Ness for Lake Superior State. Backhands it in the zone. He's locked up pretty good with Marco Ferrari. Now Ferrari with the puck. Tipped away. Luke Bodie is there. Angelelli gets a piece of it. And in the corner once more, Joe Cragen. Bodie behind the net. Tries a pass out. A good block by Aldrich. Good check by Aldrich at the line. And it is dumped deep into the Lake Superior zone. First man to the puck is Jason Trzynski. Drives it off the near glass, but he hands it away to Martins, who works it in front. Here's a quick shot, and it's fired wide. A great close-in chance for Corey Gustafson, and the puck goes out of play, and that scoring chance almost came out of nowhere.
Well, it was one of those plays where Lake Superior thought they had it out of the zone, but watch what happens as the puck comes from inside the goal line. See, they think they have control, and they think they're going to get it out of the zone, but as they roll it around, everybody's heading the wrong way. Watch right here. Right here. Here comes the puck back into the zone, and now Harvard's going to come from the right side and get the scoring chance. Watch it develop. Puck bops around. There it is, right there. Gustafson, left shot, deflected wide. I think Locker got a piece of that. That was a counterattack goal by Harvard, and you saw what happened when Lake Superior thought they had that breakout. All of a sudden, it comes back at you, and you're just in a lot of trouble.
22 goals, as you see, for Corey Gustafson. Ron Tomasoni says he scored them rather quietly. Pleasant surprise for him. He didn't expect 20 out of him. Said maybe 10 or 15. Great to see him get 20.
He's out of Regina, Saskatchewan, plays for the Notre Dame Hounds in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League.
Now breaking in the slot is Danny Gallardo. Had a second try at it. It's cleared around by Sean McCann. To the line, Sean Zolaire is there to dump it in deeper. Now McCann gets a piece of it. Clayton Beddoes in the corner for Lake State. Well, he is tenacious on the puck, Beddoes is. When he gets around it, it kind of just sticks on his stick.
I don't see any of them who aren't. I'm having trouble finding anybody down there who I don't think you can play for Coach Jackson if you're not that way.
He does recruit them all alike. Brought in now by Martins in the middle, and it was, I think he got the shot off. They nearly swept it away from him, but a good job to get the shot off.
Yeah, he did a little shovel pass there, a shovel shot really. He didn't get much on it, but this is a pretty good defensive job. Stevie Martins has tremendous one-on-one speed. He can really fly, and this is an excellent job there, as you see defensively by Wilner, because Wilner plays him one-on-one off the puck, and all he's able to do is just sort of backhand that puck in the direction of the goal.
Tomasoni says you can't contain this guy, and I think we saw it there. He's covered, and he still got it off.
Superb speed. Played for former Harvard great Steve Dedichen down at Choate Rosemary Hall.
Kirk Nielsen in for this faceoff against Wayne Strawn, and Strawn wins the faceoff. It's cleared far side by McCool. Strawn's second effort gets it out of the zone, and we're under a minute to go here in period number one. Tucci pumping it back in. Lonzinger has some trouble, has to go back for it. Lays it across. At center ice, it's broken up by Matucci. Angelelli got it to the line, but no further. A nice play by Lonzinger to break it up. Gets it left side. They work it right in, and Locker makes a big save on Lonzinger, the defenseman who came in for a point-blank try. Boy, Locker has been tremendous here in the last 5 minutes of this period. The Lakers have to ice it. It's still a one-goal game.
What a play and what a save by that guy, Blaine Locker. Oh, me, oh, my. Watch this play develop. This is Farrell. Now, you see on the right side, right here, this is Lonzinger. Farrell's going to come to the net and drop it off to Lonzinger. Watch how the goaltender Locker slides to his left and stops his shot by Lonzinger. What a great save. You can see him drift a little bit that way as he saw. See, Farrell now left shot. He can start to stray a little bit. He sees what's going to come. Push off that right leg and get over there. And he makes a save off Lonzinger. Lonzinger, it's tough to get it up all the time on that kind of play. And he just made a great save. Oh, Bill.
What a beautiful read, wasn't it?
Super.
17 left in the period. And the Crimson try to work it out of their own end. Bottle up right now, half night behind the net. And maybe they'll ride out the clock here. Wrapped away at the line. One shot maybe. Rough catch by Locker right at the horn to end the first period of play. Period that started very much dominated by Lake State, but the Crimson have come on here in the last couple of seconds or so. Jeff Jackson and his counterpart Ron Tomasoni will head to their rooms. That's the end of the first period. Lake Superior State 1 and Harvard nothing.
Every month, Enter the world of fine interior design. Enter the fascinating world of Architectural Digest. View a pied-à-terre in Paris and an English designer's bright and airy London home. Call now and get 12 issues of Architectural Digest for only $29.95. You'll also receive absolutely free Celebrity Homes Revisited, a tour that includes the homes of Jeffrey Bean, Pavarotti, and Cher.
Call toll-free 800-522-5333. That's 800-522-5333.
What time is it? Time for NBA action. A high-flying hoop show that's on top of the game. You get it all.
Here's Isaiah.
The hottest players and teams. Your favorite personality. And the greatest plays of the week. All this and more coming your way in NBA action.
Every week on Prime. If you think you play like this,
The Detroit Red Wings. Now that's Detroit's team. Bang! Another goal. Ease up, guys. Save some for the playoffs. Big penalty shots? Sergei ain't gonna miss. Empty netters? Up against the glass action. Hey, that's our cup you're holding. The game's on. Thursday night, Nordique Joe Sakic is always fun to watch. Quebec and Detroit tonight at 7:30. The game's on. The game's on Pass Sports. Gotta watch sports. Gotta see my teams. Gotta get Pass in April. Pass prime time. The Wings. Gotta be 4 more games. Let's get ready to hang some new banners at the Joe. Pistons. The future's taking shape. Gotta see him play Shaquille. Tiger baseball. Gotta get into the swing. 7 big games with the Yankees. White Sox. Gotta get in on all the live boxing. And Big Ten championships. Gymnastics. Plus swimming and diving. Hey, gotta know what's going on. Gotta watch live on Pass. Look, the Boston Marathon. Live. Gotta watch sports. Gotta get Pass in April. 1-800-4R-SPORTS. Get it.
Final game, and the first period is over. 1 goal in that period very early by the Lakers, and they have a 1-0 lead over the Crimson from Harvard. Along with Bob Norton, this is Frank Mazzocco back at the Civic Center. Bob, one of the things I like to do as a hockey fan when I'm watching the game, I like to see teams come back, and Harvard certainly did that in that period.
Yeah, they came back, but you know, this is a game of styles. These are 2 very, very different teams in the way they play the game. And Lake Superior physically had Harvard up against the wall in the first 5 minutes of the game, and that really was against Harvard's best interest. Lake Superior jumped out to 1-0 lead. It turned into a more free-flowing, up-and-down game. Harvard had a couple of power plays. We could see why they have a great power play stats. If it's an up-and-down game where there's more open ice, Harvard's got a great chance. They generated offense as that period went on, and they've got a shot to win it, but they cannot win it up against the wall on their own end.
And right now they're having a hard time winning it by beating Blaine Locker, because in the tail end of that period they did have their chances, but Locker made a couple of remarkable saves.
Well, he was a big difference right at the end. As Harvard turned the tempo around, Locker stuffed them.
All right, so a 1-0 first period here at the Civic Center in St. Paul. We'll be back after these messages with our special guest, Rick Comley, the chair of the NCAA Ice Hockey Committee.
It's technique. You want to film her stomach? You need technique to isolate your abdominal muscles. She's doing sit-ups. Sit-ups don't work. They don't isolate the abdominal muscles. And look at her legs everywhere. The wrong way. Simply put the ab isolator on. It locks her legs down, isolates your abdominals. It targets the stomach muscles automatically. Perfect exercise technique every time. The ab isolator locks you on target so you can't use the wrong muscles. With proper technique, you get results fast. Men want washboard abs. You have to isolate. Women who've had babies or problems with their lower abs want to target that area. With my ab isolator video, I'll be your personal trainer to motivate you. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner or advanced. Beginners are only 3 minutes a day. Get the ab isolator in my personal trainer video. It's a great offer at 3 payments of $9.95. It's adjustable and you can take it anywhere. Look, I'm an award-winning certified personal trainer. I've seen a lot of stomach devices, but the ab isolator is a breakthrough in abdominal training. As far as I'm concerned, you will never need another abdominal product. Now all you have to do is pick up your phone and order now.
Get ready for the hottest power play of the year. Officially licensed souvenirs from the 1994 NCAA Hockey Championship. So you don't have your ticket to St. Paul?
No problem. Here's your chance to get a piece of the action through this special offer. Even if you're not at the game, if you call now, you can bring home authentic souvenirs from the '94 NCAA Championship. This exclusive line of officially licensed souvenirs is offered by Spectator Sports Services, the official concessionaire for the NCAA Championship. These top-quality products are the real deal and can only be purchased at the game or through this toll-free number, 1-800-921-NCAA. That's 1-800-921-NCAA. Don't delay. To get your official NCAA Hockey Championship souvenirs, call now before they're history.
We're back at the Round Building in downtown St. Paul as this first semifinal game of the NCAA Championship Series weekend. With just a one-goal game so far. That was a power play tally. Lake Superior up on top, and Rick Comley's our guest. And Rick, something that has been intriguing, I think, to a lot of people around the country is the selection process that goes into coming up with the final 12 teams for the tournament. It's been a lot easier to predict them these years, eh?
It's easier. I don't know if it's better, and no one ever still agrees. But when you get down here and see this event and the crowd in a sold-out building, you understand the importance of what the selection means to everybody. It seems that each year that we do it, it gets a little bit more refined, but there's always 2 or 3 schools who don't get in and who don't like it. This year, of course, the classic example is Colorado College winning a regular season championship and not getting in. Now, what people don't always understand are what goes on behind the scenes, the fact that each conference who gets an automatic berth picks their playoff champion rather than their league champion. I think we'll continue to talk about some of the variables as we go, but it has become a formula and a system that the committee really has very little input in come selection day.
Well, you say it is a formula. It's not really a subjective format anymore. It's very much objective. Now, what types of criteria go into this computer program that come up with a power rating?
Okay, well, again, keep in mind the coaches want to decide it on the ice. So basically, you feed every game result into your 5 criteria. Number 1 is what they call the rating percentage index, and that tabulates winning percentage, strength of schedule, and comes out with a rank 1 through 45, because there are 45 Division I teams. Now, within that rank, again, are 1 loss, strength of schedule, opponents' records, those variables. You come up with an overall rating. If there's less than a 1-point separation in that rating, then you go to the other 4 criteria. They are made up of common opponents, head-to-head record, which, by the way, is the second most important criteria to coaches, record against teams under consideration, record over your last 20. It's all fed in, it all prints out, you tabulate the plus-minus, and then you get your deciding factor. That's how you pick your 12 teams.
Well, future sites will determine the next matchups for the next couple of years. And there we go for next season, 1995 Regionals in Worcester, Mass. The West will be in Madison, Wisconsin. And then the 1995 Championship Series will be in Providence, Rhode Island. Ticket information, of course, you saw the number right there, but the final 4 teams will be facing off in Providence, Rhode Island next year with semifinals and then the championship game itself. 96, it's in Cincinnati, Milwaukee, Boston, and coast to coast to Anaheim. That's what's coming up in the future. We'll be back for this one right here in St. Paul in a moment.
Spectacular surf, towering up to 15 feet in height.
The water conditions very, very important to these drivers.
And the water fairly rapid, fairly rough here on the Animas River.
These athletes have got it made. Look at the beautiful calm water here.
We are prime, and we play the world.
When stress takes its toll, wouldn't it be great to have your very own personal masseuse to soothe and relieve tension? When routine jobs become painful, wouldn't it be great to call on a shiatsu massage therapist to melt away sore, aching muscles? Theraflex presents the Pro Shiatsu Personal Massager. Unlike vibrating massagers that only rub the surface, Pro Shiatsu simulates the kneading action of a real masseuse, sending penetrating waves of energy to relieve pain, stress, and sore muscles. Use it on your feet, lower back, calves, and thighs. There's nothing that soothes, relaxes, and relieves aches and pains like the Pro Shiatsu Massager. Now you can order yours at the special price of 3 easy payments of $33. But wait, there's more. Call right now and we'll send you the original massage pillow. So order now.
To order Pro Shiatsu plus bonus pillow, call 1-800-652-9200. We'll bill your credit card 3 monthly payments of $33 plus shipping and handling. Call now 1-800-652-9200.
8 over Harvard, 1-0 at the end of 20 minutes of play here at the Civic Center in St. Paul. And early in that first period, there was a power play opportunity for Lake State. I think the penalty came about 23 seconds, and about a minute 20 after that, first goal was on the board.
Yeah, Steve Barnes got his 6th goal of the season, his 4th goal on power play from Mike Morin and Sean Tolaire. It was one of those up-ice rush plays. It wasn't really a set-up power play in the zone, but an up-ice rush play that Harvard ends up getting lost in the defensive end and don't have anybody out to cover the point. Now, this is dumped in as Lake Superior does all the time. Play goes behind the goal line, and as Harvard goes to get it, you're going to see right here. Watch what happens right here. 1, 2, 3, over here. 4, all 4 players inside. So when that puck is moved out by Morin out to the point, look at all the open ice he has. Tremendous open ice, nobody there. They get the puck out deep on a rush-up ice, and more in that situation, Barnes just had a lot of room to walk in on a pass from Morin and Sean Tolaire. This is the same angle, and you can see Harvard has 4 guys on the rush-up ice behind the zone, and then they pick up the puck, move it out front, and as they move it out front, Barnes comes in, picks up the puck on the open ice, and puts it in. Watch it right here. See it right there. There's a good look. You see it as the goalie sees it. Right there, shot coming in. Nobody out to defend. I'll tell you, the other part of this game that's been really great has been Blaine Locker. He has been superb all game long. Great in the net for Lake Superior. We knew that coming in. That's Gustafson rolling off, Nielsen rather, rolling off the right side, right to left, coming in front of the net. Stupendous save by Locker. That's Clayton Beddoes getting whacked by Sean McCann on a rush-up ice. Pretty good pop. That shook him up for a couple of moments.
Right. Harvard out shooting Lake State 13-4, but Lake State has the 1-0 lead. We'll be back after these messages.
I wish my son could live a...
Pass. Sports stuff.
Hi, I'm Steve Garagiola, and I got to tell you, if you're a sports fan, you got to have Pass. See the Wings, Tiger, Pistons, boxing, soccer, tennis, golf, summer coolers, and a whole lot more. And you can see all this for less than 35 cents a day. And you can still get in on that special installation offer. But when March is over, so is the deal. So call your cable company or 1-800-4R-SPORTS and get Pass now.
Hey, it's swing time. It's swing time. 70 live games begin on Pass April 6th. The Tigers take on the Red Sox. Watch it live on Pass daytime.
Road to Charlotte for the NCAA's biggest tourney. Our live 4-day coverage delivers the latest news, insights, and much more. Don't miss Championship Week from Charlotte, beginning Friday on Prime.
So the Lakers make their way out into the ice here at the Civic Center in St. Paul. They will be walking right beneath their fellow Yoopers, who are just above and to the right. They're going out with a 1-0 lead as we get ready for the start of our second period. The power play goal is the only goal of this hockey game. Barnes, his 6th of the year, 4 on the power play. Morin and Tolaire with the assists at 1:47 of the period. And the shots on goal, this is pretty lopsided figure, Bob. For Harvard Crimson, 13 shots on goal, just 4 for Lake State. Quite a turnaround from the way that period started.
Well, yeah, the first 4 minutes were, I think, 4-0 in favor of Lake Superior, but 2 power plays for Harvard helped out a little bit there. Lake Superior scored a goal on their power play, but Harvard is an outstanding offensive team. But, you know, Lake Superior has been able to pin them back up against the wall with a sufficient amount of time. That 14 is a little deceptive. I don't think the intensity of pressure was the same as a 14-4 discrepancy in shots on goal. I think some of that was power play and some of it was shots from well outside. I don't think that Harvard dominated the period 14-4. They may have dominated the last 5 to 8 minutes.
Aaron Israel, the starter, and you saw his fine winning percentage. He and Trip Tracy are the 2 key goaltenders for the Crimson, and Ron Tomasoni will use them freely in either game, in either direction.
Yeah, he sure will. He has alternated them. He won't commit that he's going to alternate through the tournament. When we talked to him the other day, he talked about playing both goaltenders, and when we talked about which one would play which game, he said, well, he'd make those decisions game by game, but he has alternated them regularly all year long. There's Trip Tracy. He's out of Grosse Pointe Farms, Michigan, played for Detroit CompuWare.
Face-off at center ice. We start this period with the penalty boxes empty, and Lake State with a 1-0 lead. They flip one in on Locker. Would have been off goal, but he's going to take no chances and controls that puck. We get a stoppage just 8 seconds in. And much like his teammates, it's a very control-oriented hockey team.
Well, one of the things that they do so well is defend the center of the ice from blue line to blue line. So that forces Harvard to do something that we talked about before they do not like to do, which is dump it into the zone and go get it. The reason is you just can't give Lake Superior transition offense in the center of the ice.
The Harvard line centered by Perry Cohagen is out there. He's got Brian Farrell, a senior, on his right wing, and another senior, Chris Baird, on his left. Cohagen is a junior. Mike Morin lets the puck slide to center ice for the Lakers. Then they dump it in. They'll try to track it down. Wayne Strawn trying to battle his way around the check there of Sean McCann. Lead pass too far for everybody. They're going to wave off the ice.
Already Harvard's doing something different this period, and I'll touch on it when we get a break.
And we're just in the opening half minute of play here. Rolls loose on the line. McCann backhands one into the crease. Locker makes the stop, but lost control of this one. Played back to McCann at the right point. He sends it towards the net. Knocked down easily in front by Morin. And then fired out at center ice off the stick of Matucci, and the Crimson will regroup. And trying to pick it up in his own line. Now finally shovels it ahead. Brought in by Corey Gustafson, who plays it back behind the net. And the first man of the puck is Brad Wilner. Cleared, not out, and McGuire centered it in front for Gustafson, who deflects it wide. Then the Lakers decide to ice it to relieve the pressure. And there is a bit of a turn of events. Oh, they're going to wave it off now, apparently saying that one of the Harvard players touched it on the way down. McGuire gets it to center. Brought in by Gustafson, trying to weave his way through. Good defensive play by Wilner, who left the puck alone and just played the body. And then the puck went harmlessly away. Sean Tolaire waiting for it to come loose. He's wearing number 12. And then finally it's rattled off the wall, broken up by Bodie. Still loose in the zone. Whacked at by Wilner, but not out. Bodie keeps it in. Senior defenseman pops it right in front, and it's batted out of there by Aldridge. All the way down the rink, and another icing call here against Lake State.
Frank, on the dump in earlier this period, Harvard has had to make a change to keep the first forechecker off that puck early. So what they're doing is the first defenseman back is just trying to pick that first forechecker, interfere with him a little bit, and give the second defenseman an opportunity to pick up the puck and get it out of the zone. There's a deflection by Gustafson inside off Lochner, just wide, but Harvard has had the early pressure. If they can put pressure on the first forechecker for Lake Superior, interfere with him a little bit, bother him, keep him off the puck, then the guy who gets the puck, the defenseman on the puck, can clear it out of the zone.
To center ice, the Lakers haul it out. Here's Jay Nance, takes the check from Bodie, but gains the zone. Now back behind the net, Half-Night trying to move it around. He was tied up, lost it. It's still loose in the corner. The Lakers jump on it again, forced to the outside by Kirk Nielsen, number 22. Now the lead pass out at center. Harvard brings it in. Here's a quick centering pass, deflected to Nielsen. He got the shot up, and a remarkable save by Locker. That was an explosive rush up ice by the Crimson. Nielsen doing the forechecking. Cleared up on the far side and out at center. Kurt Miller will race after it, but he's in a real fight there with Half-Night. Half-Night goes down. That puck comes loose to Miller. Miller to the line. Barnes lets it go, and it deflects off a skate out front. Played in the corner now by Half-Night again. And rolls loose to Miller behind the net. Waits, very patient. Shot blocked and tipped out at center by Nielsen. Nielsen battling to get to the loose puck. And in the scramble, it's finally tipped in back into the Crimson end. We're 3 minutes into the second period. Lake State with a 1-0 lead. Lob to center ice, knocked down with a glove hand by Harvard's Marco Ferrari. Regaining control is Angelelli. And out at center ice, the Crimson intercept and dump it in. They're playing a much more assertive game at both ends of the ice here. The Crimson are in the second period. Rolls loose to Angelelli, who gets it out at center. A one-on-one play now as it's brought in by Brzezinski. Gets in, goal! The save was made. The loose puck, the red by Trzynski. I thought it went in on the first crack.
I think what he's calling is a man in the crease. Let's see what happens on the goal. This is the play by Trzynski. Jason Trzynski. Momentum carries him into the goal. Still not in. Second follow-up. And what the referee is saying is that Trzynski, watch him as the play goes into the zone. Here comes Trzynski. Here's the play. Trzynski's own momentum right there. Yep. Right there. See? Trzynski now. Watch right here. Trzynski in the net. Puck goes over, but the momentum of Trzynski pushed the goaltender Israel into the net. Therefore, the goal is disallowed. Face-off outside the zone.
Good call by the referee. Wiseman back behind the net there on top of it to watch it. Wave it off. And in the last rush, they also had an excellent scoring opportunity. They've been buzzing. Now from the face-off, the puck loose in the Harvard end. It rolls in the slot. Strong one after, but it was cleared away from him. And Harvard sends it all the way down, an icing call.
The actual ruling is man in the crease. No one can be more in the crease than totally in the net. There's been some controversial goals over time with this Lake Superior team, and they've been on both sides of them. Sean Dallaire in the finals of the NCAA tournament right there thought he had one against Clark Snow. That would have tied the game up. And the other night against Northeastern late the game. A little trickler right after, and watch this one. Some you get, and some you get. Goes around, comes around.
Yes, it does. Those breaks do even out. Sometimes you got to wait a year and a day for them, but they do come around.
Isn't it interesting here again? This is Lake Superior style of play that Harvard has the momentum going their way, but with one break up the other end of the ice, Trzynski has a chance to make it 2-0, and that's a smart way for Lake Superior to play. Protect the puck in your own area, try to rely on your goaltender to make the big saves, and every now and then you're going to get a shot at putting one in. Israel there through a screen. Puts that one away. He's a big guy, 6'2".
Both of these teams come in with pretty sizable goalies. Locker's 6'1".
Yeah, they're very small at the other end. Trip Tracy's only 5'10", 165. He's a wisp of a guy who just rockets around the goal mouth. Very acrobatic.
Backups for Lake State are Paul Sass and Sean Kulik, and they're 5'9" and 5'10" respectively. So we'll put the tree in there first. Here's a quick centering pass that comes all the way through. Terry Cohagen played it all the way across. Still 1-0 Lake Superior. And it's sent deep into the Crimson end, and an icing call against Lake Superior State. So with the timeout on the ice, we'll take a break. Score Lake State 1, Harvard 0.
They didn't get me.
Or me. They got some of my friends, but they didn't get me.
These kids are all graduates of DARE, Drug Abuse Resistance Education, a program they were taught back in elementary school. Today, years later, they've still never gotten involved with drugs or alcohol. Call 1-800-825-5532. Wouldn't you like to hear your kids say this one day?
They didn't get me, and they never will.
With Wally Shaver and Bob Norton, this is Frank Mazzacco at the Civic Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. A 1-0 lead for Lake Superior State from the Central Collegiate Hockey Association over Harvard of the Eastern Collegiate Athletic Conference, ECAC. And right now, Harvard with control deep in the Lake State zone. In front, here's Gustafson reaching, waiting to shoot. Good defensive play by Barnes. He was rock solid last week in that West Regional. Barnes wearing number 3. Now Wilner. Nice stick handling to bring it to center by Clayton Beddoes, and he lobs it in from the red checkered line, and back behind the net it goes. Up on the near wall. Beddoes trying to break it up, and does. Again, comes away with the puck. Beddoes trying to get in past the defense. Backhand is finally deflected, but he hangs on to it. And as it comes loose, the whistle goes. How do you get the puck away from Clayton Beddoes?
He's so very strong. This time, Beddoes, sort of innocent-looking centering move to the front of the ice, front of the goal mouth, ends up deflecting off Lou Bodie's skate. Watch what happens here. Lou Bodie's in front of the net. Is Bodie 15? Keep your eye right here. Watch right here. Deflection off Bodie, almost in the net. Israel, puck comes loose, but the way it was clearly after the whistle had blown.
Clayton Beddoes, an outstanding player and a second-team West All-American. Leads the Laker club with 5 game-winning goals. Crimson control, a lead pass way too far for Kirk Nielsen, and an icing call back the other way. Sometimes you get stung when you're trying to dump it out, and other times with a bad pass.
Last meeting between these two teams was back in Harvard's NCAA championship year in the quarterfinals. The Lake Superior team, then coached by Frank Anzalone, assistant coach was Jeff Jackson, lost to Harvard 4-2 and 5-2 at Cambridge. In the last 7 years, ECAC teams have ended Lake Superior's attempts at an NCAA championship 3 times. Harvard once, Colgate and Clarkson. Harvard in 89, Colgate in 90, and Clarkson in 91.
From the face-off, the Crimson control, a good draw, won by Kirk Nielsen. Pass back to Nielsen, got through him. It's back out at center. Loose at the line. Now they jump on it. This is Ralph Balasevic. Trying to center it in front. Does a good defensive coverage in front to knock it away. Back comes Coughlin for Harvard. Coughlin moving in, centers in. It's deflected away. Good opportunity for Peter McLaughlin, but it was tipped away from him at the last second. Now McLaughlin in to do a little forechecking. It's cleared away from him. Back out at center. Here is pass to the near boards, and McCann dumps it in. Off the near wall. Picked up by Miller. Miller tried to weave it out of there. And it's shot right back in. Barnes controlling. Armano's chasing him. And here's Miller to get it to center ice, but apparently his skates. And it's dumped right back into the Lakers. Can't go anywhere right now. Weatherall gets it to Miller. Miller out to center. He had no one to pass it to. I'm not sure if he was just trying to get it down for a line change and a breather or what, but it is icing.
Lake Superior likes to indirect the puck off the boards, Frank. They like to work. When I mean indirect, I mean you bounce the puck off the boards, avoiding tossing it into the middle as much as you can. They will very, very rarely make a pass into the middle of the ice in their own end on breakout. They'll almost always keep it out on the perimeter or indirect the puck off the boards. And Kurt Miller out of Taconite, Minnesota, has been a great player for this team. Played for Rochester United States Junior Hockey League. Superb forward, senior left winger, 195 pounds, 6'2".
That's a solid guy. That's why I call him a power forward. Back at the blue line, Matucci shooting. That's off a skate, and it shoots right up into the crowd. Perhaps somewhere might be Wally Shaver in that crowd somewhere. Walt?
Well, actually, I'm not down in the crowd, Frank. We're going to pop inside here, the Lake Superior State dressing room, because there's something rather unique about how this team really got here. Now, we all know they beat a few opponents along the way, right? But there's actually a piece of wood here on the floor that really is their focus of the whole tournament. Coach, earlier in the year when they had a bad series against Ferris State, decided to bring this in and use a mental ploy to get the team going. If this board was 6 stories up, you'd have some fear walking across it. But if it's down on the ground, there's no fear. So the key is, don't fear your opponents, respect them. And that's been a mental thing that they focused on all year, and it's worked quite well to this point.
Boy, mental strategy and mental games taken to the limit here. Crushing, was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago in Albany? Their mascot, their cheerleader was the cockroach, remember?
I put some of those things out of my mind.
Well, they're paying me to bring them back, Bobby. Well, anyway, the Roach, I think the Roach passed away somewhere in the middle of the playoffs, but they didn't want anybody to know, so they just carried it around in the box. Well, colorful team.
That's a good look at Izzy. Aaron Israel played prep hockey, as we said, at Hotchkiss School. That's down in Connecticut. Great hockey program, and turned out a number of superb goaltenders. Israel and Tracy came to Harvard as a tandem, and they've done a great job for them. Harvard has had a history over the last, I'd say 8 years of having superb goaltending, and this group is going to be outstanding for the next 2 years.
I think this is the first time in the game that I've seen one of the coaches make a last-second change, and it was done by Harvard. They brought the Martins line on with Holmes and Gustafson. Right up the middle it goes. Here's Moore. He and Strong break the center. Basically a 2-on-3, and a good defensive play by Bodie at the line. Breaks up the rush and forces it offside. There's a good look at Lou Bodie.
Lou Bodie's a superb hockey player. We see this rush up the ice. That's Mike Moore, and just a 2-on-2. We get a back-checking effort, and Bodie takes the body effectively, and that's what you have to do against Lake State. You have to make sure you don't let these guys leak through 2-on-2. Now watch what happens here. Superb one-on-one play. Last man in the zone. Play this one-on-one. Right there, look. Just stay with them all the way. Stay the one-on-one all the way. Keep at them. Work them off the side.
Coming up in the midway part of period number 2, and an early first period goal is the only goal in this hockey game. Lakers have it. Out at center ice, it's wrapped away. Lauren couldn't touch it. He would have been offside. Now it's carried ahead by Bodie, who takes it deep, centers it. That's off the skate. Not much penetration in front of either net here in this second period. And out at center, he got a whistle. Maybe that puck went out and came back in. A little bad blood, too, as Morin staring off with Martins at the blue line.
Well, Martins has had his share of penalty minutes. He's reaching 100 minutes of penalties with 93 minutes for the year. Clearly the leader of the Harvard team in terms of penalty minutes. You know, you talk about Harvard goaltending canon. Those who follow college hockey will remember they just got finished with an outstanding goaltending canon in Elaine Raw and Chucky Hughes. So they had those two guys from 88 through the national championship season to 92. They graduate and they bring in these two. So they've had superb goaltending since 88 with duos.
Crimson play catch at center, then a blast from center ice by Peter McLaughlin, and then catch by the goaltender Locker. Rolls free, batted away at the blue line again, this time by the defenseman McCann.
Well, they do a great job at Lake Superior, keeping everything outside.
And right now, the Crimson doing a pretty good job of keeping Lake, giving them plenty of opportunity to do that. Had them bottle up in their own end for a bit. Shot around far wall. Here's Weatherall. He takes a hit on the far side from McLaughlin. And now back to the corner again. Here's McCann. He's just a steady, smart hockey player, McCann. Plays it out at center now. Aldridge back across in his own end. This is Weatherall up off the glass. And then McCann once more. Their senior and captain now wrecked away by the Lakers. A blast by Tolaire. What a sizzling shot. And a nice save by Israel. He holds on. So a scoring opportunity by Tolaire is robbed with the timeout. The score remains Lake State 1 and Harvard nothing. Ouch.
She calls out to the man on the street. Sir, can you help me?
There is help for thousands of people with disabilities who are homeless. If you work with an organization that helps the homeless, you should know about SSI. SSI means monthly cash payments, food stamps, and medical benefits. SSI means help for the homeless. To find out more about SSI, contact Social Security.
This telecast is presented by authority of the NCAA. Any use of this program without written consent is prohibited. The announcers for this program have been approved and contracted by NCAA Productions. Attendance of 15,500 at the Civic Center. They're not all here, but it's not a bad Thursday afternoon crowd. Got to be three-quarters full.
Absolutely, maybe a little more than that.
Now in the corner, they jostle for the puck. And it's nursed up along the wall. Finally controlled by Ness, or actually Valasevic, he dumps it in deep. Hit thrown into Miller, but the Lakers grind it out on the wall where they are extremely effective.
Well, they can play this game up against the boards better than anybody. They have tremendous patience. They fall on the puck here. Going to get a face-off as number 16, Rob Valasevic, falls on the puck. But you talk about Harvard having pressure down the other end. As long as Lake Superior keeps it up against their defensive perimeter, up against the wall in their defensive end, they're not under any threat, really. The only way Harvard is going to be able to threaten them is if they get the puck off the boards toward the front of the net. I mean, Lake Superior has extraordinary patience at both ends of the ice, keeping the puck up against the boards until something finally pops.
Valasevic taking that last shot on the far boards. Being given that last shot, I should say. 10.5 to go, second period. The power play goal is the only tally in this game. Behind the net, Derek McGuire. Second team All-ECAC selection. Shot back in. McGuire will turn to go after. Get some help now from Lonzinger's partner behind. And here's McGuire. Backboard. Being pressured by Gerald Tolaire. And finally, it is controlled by Farrell, who gets it to center ice. Now Cohagen couldn't get around the D on the outside. Nice check, and here's Valasevic back the other way. Boy, he had a short rest on the bench. Civic drops it into the corner. Here's Miller. Miller's throwing it in deeper once again, and Bodie with the interception. Out at center ice, it comes free once more. Wayne Strong. And now back to Steve Barnes. Barnes out to center ice. It's tipped ahead, but blocked. And Barnes gets it once more. Barnes, a senior and leading active scorer among Lake State defensemen, shoots it in. Martins goes after it for Harvard, and Morin chases him. Morin is a tireless worker for Lake State. Off a skate and goes free, and he takes Martins out of the play. Teammate gets the loose puck at center and dumps it in. Israel leaves it at the side of the net, and the Crimson will try to pass it to center. They find the target in Gustafson. His pass on the left wing trying to spring half night. I think the defenseman failed to work, and an icing call.
Well, Lake Superior only has a one-goal lead, but I'll tell you, in this period, the style of play is totally going their way. This game is being played along the offensive and defensive boards, and Harvard is not going to win the game if this continues. This is an excellent, when they get these kinds of 3-on-2 chances, as they do from this Cohagen drop pass here, what happens is Wanziger can't handle a drop pass, and they have tremendous opportunity to move this puck into the zone. Watch what happens here as the Lake Superior defense is going to drop. Watch right here. You see Lake Superior's defense is going to drop here. He's got a great opportunity to penetrate, but he can't handle a pass, and that's one opportunity, really, one of the few that they've had in the period goes by the boards because they can't handle that drop pass. And when they get the full ice chances, they have got to take advantage of them because they're spending minutes at a time up against the glass.
Now the Crimson rush it to center ice. A lead pass picked up and brought in deep now by Tom Holmes. He's forced outside by Keith Aldridge. Back to the blue line. Bodie's shooting. A nice block by Alvey. Gustafson trying to center. That goes off the base of the net. And Jay Ness, or at least Matt Alvey, gets it all the way down. And an icing call against Lake Superior State.
One of the other things that's an intangible in the game is face-offs. As the game goes along, Lake Superior is going to take more face-offs. Shots on goal are very deceptive because they have not come from dangerous angles, particularly in this period. Face-offs become crucial here because Lake Superior is going to take some icings here as they just get the puck out of the zone. Harvard, an outstanding face-off team, has not dominated face-offs through this point in the game against Lake Superior. If they're going to get their offensive chances here, they've got to win more face-offs. Let's watch.
Trainer tending to Rod Balasevic at the end of the Lake Superior State bench. Quick shot from a shallow angle by McCann is turned away easily by Locker. Back to get it is Ben Coughlin. Here's McCann once more, lobbing it high, and then he took a hit from Angelelli. Wetherill back to get the loose puck, and quick pressure on him by Ben Coughlin. Now on the far side, Joe Pragan. And in behind the net, they work it to Kirk Nielsen. His play up on the far side of the rink might have been deflected, and it skips over the glass. We get a stoppage.
I see we had about 15 seconds of play right over there on that dumping. And everything was between the hash mark on the face-off circle to the left of the goalie and just inside the goal line. Nothing comes outside. Everything goes outside, you see? And even when it goes out of the net, it's all outside on the perimeter. Everything worked along the sideboard. That's Lake Superior style, and unless you can do something to force them out of that, you're not going to win.
It takes discipline to pull that off, too.
Tremendous patience. That's what they have as a team. I've always admired the patience they have to play the style. Not many coaches can get teams to play the way Lake Superior plays. I'll tell you that right now.
Check thrown into Peter McLaughlin behind the net. He comes away with the puck, however, and throws it back around to McCann. And nursing it up along the wall, and then avoids that check from Trzynski. Here come the Crimson bringing it in. Kirk Nielsen trying to move it in front, and a good defensive play by Barnes, not once, but twice to break it up. Now far wall, Jason Carmano. Behind the net, right up the middle. From the line, McGuire pushed it wide. And it's cleared, and cleared all the way down by Lake Superior State. Reading pressure in a hurry, they got rid of the puck. With the timeout on the ice, we will take a break. Our score here at St. Paul is Lake State 1 and Harvard nothing. We'll be right back.
From the stars of the game to the strokes of the Masters, Tennis Television has it all, including private lessons and the Tennis Lover's Vacation Guide. Join Brad Holbrook on Tennis Television every week on Prime. Prime Cuts. It's more than just a small bite. It's the whole cut. Grade A. Ear to the crowd, round the world. Sports news and information. To try it is to like it. Prime Cuts.
Watch right here. This is a Carmano's play. Look how well they're defended in front of the net. Watch this. Pass comes out to the point, and that's a shot from the outside by McGuire. But look in the inside. They let Locker make that save, and everybody else is out of the picture. You know, there's little things that this team does that get them to where they are. There's no secret. You know, they're beautifully coached. Those guys are covered in front.
When it comes down to it, it can be an awfully simple game.
Well, you got to cover people, and you got to play defense, and you got to play hard. And you know, this Harvard team's a beautiful team to watch when they get on track, but they're not on track yet.
There's a backhand shot. Locker the save. Big rebound. Cleared by the D to the line. McGuire, a slap shot, skips wide. Martin's pressing play behind the net. He's got Gustafson in front, but has no chance to get it to him. Locker stuffs it at the side of the net and holds on. And they get a whistle again. Well, their chances are coming kind of like little crumbs of bread.
Little bits of it at a time, and the more face-offs that they're able to get in the Lake Superior zone, the more the chances are that they're eventually going to score. Martins has tremendous speed. He loves to make that pivot back to the inside. You see how quickly he makes it there. Flips it in front, tries to get it in front to Corey Gustafson, but Gustafson a little bit too far off the angle. Locker freezes it. Martins, I'll tell you, can stop on a dime and accelerates as fast as anybody in the country. But he, thus far in the game, has been covered very closely by the Lake Superior defense. He's not real big, not real tall, but I'll tell you, very strongly built.
Quick, elusive, a couple of words to describe him. Face off in the Lake State zone, pushed behind the net now by Farrell. And rolled right up the middle, and Martins was covered, or was that Farrell covered in front? Farrell made a move from the left wing boards to the front of the net, but he was covered. No chance on getting that shot deflected in.
Well, very well defended. Harvard folks might say he might have been held. Farrell is going to work himself off the boards. Is going to pick up that centering pass by Baird. You can see him right there as he's tied up 6 ways to Sunday. Watch it. You tell me if you think this is holding or not. Here he comes toward the front of the net. Oh, me, oh, my.
Yeah, a little lock up there, Bob. That's all. 1-0 hockey game and a chance to make it 2. Locker makes 2 big saves on Martins again. Boy, when he's made some stops, Blaine Locker has made some big ones.
And this is where their chances are going to come, Harvard. And we talked about this as the period went along. When they get those face-offs in the zone or close to the circle, here they come toward the net. Stevie Martins, tremendous speed. Now watch him continue on toward the net, works through the check. Ends up getting that rebound shot off. That's the second time Locker's made a rebound save. In the first period, did it off Farrell. This period off Martins. Those are the 2 best that Harvard has.
Blaine Locker with 20 saves, and Jeff Jackson says he has been a tough guy to coach. Yes, they've locked horns now and again. He said, but now it's earned my respect, certainly. And, of course, with numbers like that, you gain respect in a hurry. Cleared all the way down. Icing in a hurry. 6:40 left to go in period number 2. The only goal in this game from Barnes on a power play early in the first.
Fatigue may be setting in a little bit with the Lake Superior team. It takes tremendous strength and resilience to play their style, and they've been in their own end a ton this period, and they continue to take face-offs and make quick icing plays.
Cleared around by Aldridge. Far side of the rink, however, is blocked and kept alive by Halfnight. Now in the corner, Wilner had his man tied up and knocked Chris Baird down. The Lakers finally get it to center, one of their few offensive rushes. Here's Moore. Moore can't get the shot off, nor can he get a pass off as he was choked off on the play by Lou Bodie. Back to center ice. Here's a long shot by... Oh! I'm not sure if he had crossed the blue line or not, but it was at least that long, and this game is tied at 1.
I'll tell you what makes this a great shot. He's going one way, and he comes back the other way with the shot. Watch it right here, and I can show you what makes it so difficult. He's a left shot going to his left. Watch him. Left shot going to his left. Crosses the blue line. Winds up, but he comes back the other way with the shot. You can see Locker going right. You see? There's no way a goaltender can stop that shot. Watch right here. Right here. He's going this way. Left shot. He thinks that the shot's going to come here, but he threads the needle here. Watch it. Back the other way. Goaltender pivoting off that left foot. You can't stop that shot. Great shot, Brian Farrell out of Avon, Connecticut. The Wing Beavers of Avon Old Farms. That's his 29th goal of the season. He's a great player.
It's a heck of a hockey year for Brian Farrell. He gets it all alone. 13:47 to tie this game at 1. What a sweet move that was. Here's another shot, goes all the way through. Ben Coughlin with the shot. So Harvard, who has had much of the offensive pressure, what there's been here in the second period, finally capitalized, but not from the doorstep as I thought they'd score. They score from just at the blue line.
There's nothing Locker could do to stop that shot. Not one thing he could have done as a goaltender, because you could see him, Frank, pivoting off the left foot. You have to guard the left shot to come to the wide side of the net. And when you pivot off that left leg to get in that direction, there's no way you can come back weak side to make a save.
Locker's shutout string in this one ends with this long one.
He threads the needle with this one. This kid's a great athlete. You know, Brian Farrell was an outstanding football and baseball player at Avon Old Farms. Just one of the top high school athletes in the state of Connecticut. You know, he's had 20 power play goals out of his 29 goals. So he had 9 in regulation. That's one of the few he's had even up.
Behind the net, here's Matucci. He takes quite a crack. He's slow in getting up out of that. Matucci, I think, was hit by Ben Coughlin, and now he moves his way slowly to the bench. They'll be wondering if that was a checking from behind, because he caught that dasher square across the midsection. And now I see an arm upraised. No other signal than that, Bob, and to be honest with you, I'm lost.
I think Harvard's going to get a penalty. I think it's a roughing penalty, and I think it's going to go on number 6, Coughlin.
Here he is, checked squarely from behind.
Yeah, that's a hit from behind.
Oh.
That's a hit from behind.
We think the penalty might be called roughing here, however.
Boarding.
Yeah, let's make it a board.
It's a hit from behind. That's what it is.
Well, the thing is, if you hit from behind on the board, the penalty is more severe if they call it according to the book.
It can be, but they have not often called it that way.
They'll change it to boarding so they don't have to get into that kind of a worrisome situation.
Lake State would like one here. They've been pressed up their own end most of this period, and they would like to lead here. 5:10 remaining with a lead-up goal.
They're 1 for 1 on the power play. This is their second opportunity. Strawn at the line. Wait. 5 minutes left in the period. Sean Tolaire to Wayne Strawn again. Now to the far point. Here's Barnes. They work it in deep, and now back to Barnes. Here's Strawn again, and now to Tolaire. Hopped away from him. Warren after it behind the net. Finally gets a little pass. McGuire to throw a check. Sean Tolaire is there. And Aaron Israel comes out. Sees things are a little too busy around him and covers up to get a face-off.
Yeah, it was a little too busy around him, and he was trying to deflect that puck out to the corner. And as he deflected it, I think he deflected it off a Lake Superior player, ended up coming right back at him. He has to freeze the puck and get a face-off to his right. You can see he's got 2 defensemen behind the net. He's got no help out front. When he tries to deflect that behind the goal line, it actually deflects off the Lake Superior forward, Sean Tolaire, and he just sees nothing but trouble there, faces it off to his right.
Steve Martin's out for this face-off, which I guess was a face-off.
He tripped Strawn.
Here's Barnes now at the line, shooting it in. And it's played around. Beddoes waiting for it, but couldn't control. Crimson jumping on that puck in a hurry. A delayed penalty coming up here. Here's Martins taking it to the outside. Trying to spot Half-Night in front, and the puck just got away from Half-Night. Here's another shot by Lou Bodie and a glove catch. And we're going to have a penalty coming up here.
I think the penalty is going to go against Beddoes for holding over on the far boards.
All right, we will make it a hold or a hook.
Here's Beddoes on the right side. Watch him right here. They're going to call a hook on Beddoes. That's the penalty, as he's just trying to prevent the break on the left side. He didn't want to give up a 2-on-1, so he put the hook on, gets the penalty, and Harvard's going to go on power play. This is a crucial time in the game, because should Harvard score here and make it 2-1, Lake Superior has to totally change around how they're playing. Then they can't quite keep it up the wall on their own end. They can't be satisfied with keeping it up the wall on the offensive end. They have to open it up a little more. So Harvard getting a lead necessitates Lake Superior doing some things differently than they like to do.
There's 4:17 left in the second. In about a minute, that Crimson power play will kick in, and they'll have then roughly a minute of power play opportunity.
Harvard is a great 4-on-4 team. They have exceptional speed, and when they get all this open ice, they're very tough.
Aldridge behind his own net, trying to shoot it away from Kirk Nielsen, and did. And now the Lakers wave it to center. Here's Gerald Tolaire. Remember, he had the hat trick last weekend. Centers it in front, but the puck is taken away and hauled out at center ice. Nice rush by Half-Night, and he shoots it in. Aldridge, first man to it. Another 34 seconds of 4-on-4 play. And who's got it? Finally, Lou Bodie. Watched on the play by Valasevic, gains the zone, leaves it for Halfnight, who weaves in. A little pass in the slot, picked off by Valasevic, sees a breaking man, but Gerald Tolaire goes after the pass a bit too far. So it'll be icing since we're still at even strength on the ice.
Halfnight, the freshman, made a very, very dangerous pass. He was in trouble over by the left side of the blue line, and rather than just trying to bury it inside, he tried to make a pass to his defensive partner, who was covered also, and that just about gave Lake Superior an opportunity to break. But Ashland Halfnight, who's had a great freshman year and can skate like the wind. Dad used to coach, his grandfather rather, was hockey coach at Yale a number of years back.
Granddad played too?
Played there at Yale as well. Ashland Halfnight.
Strawn waiting for this face-off.
He has 3 citizenships, U.S., Canadian, and British. Ashland Halfnight from Toronto.
Does that mean he'll have to pay 3 times taxes?
Oh, I don't think so.
Send in deep. And controlled now by Sean McCann. Now it is a power play. Back behind the net, the Crimson will set up. Power play for Harvard. Work it to the side, and it's batted away by Locker. Now back to the blue line. Here's Baird. Baird high, slot to McGuire. Back to Baird. Now to Martins. Fires. Nice block there by Aldridge. Nice slot, and now a quick left to his feet, and a one-timer again. Bob off the outside of the net.
They love to do it particularly on the left side with McCann.
Now here's Martins again. They send it in deep. And right up the middle of the line. Fire across in front, and it was tipped away by the defender, Brad Wilner. Back to McGuire again. Here's Martins once more. Farrell Hood gets away from him. McCann, scampers after it, got it in front, and then it's taken by Strawn and shot all the way down. And that should just about wipe out the penalty to Beddoes.
Well, Lake Superior has seen all the videos. They know what Harvard wants to do, and they're really defending that cross-ice pass to the inside very, very well.
Martins with the interception at center. He gets it in for Farrell. Farrell lets it go, and a nice kick save by Locker. That puck comes out of the zone. They'll have to regroup as we come up on 2 minutes left here in the second period. Now tied in this hockey game. Cleared by Barnes all the way down. Icing, and a face-off back in the Lake State zone. With the timeout, we'll take a break. It's now a 1-1 score here at St. Paul.
I've never run such rough roads for such long duration.
I'm not crazy.
There's a lot of different places to put your feet and hands. If you can't make a long reach, you can find something else, and you can express yourself any way you want.
I'm not crazy.
I am Prime. And I play the world.
Lake Superior and Harvard tied up here 1-1. Brian Farrell has 29 games, and this is 29 goals, and this is 33rd game. He's going for 30 and 33 right here. Locker with the pad. Rebound left out front, but no one follows for Harvard. Brian Farrell
has the Crimson's only goal of this hockey game. Tied it midway through this period.
Goal and 2 assists against New Hampshire in the winning game over the Wildcats that sent Harvard here to the NCAA championship.
Nielsen tossed from the circle. Now the draw. Behind the net. Played around by Matucci. And it comes free for a hot second as Lonzinger almost had it. Little forecheck pressure now by Corey Gustafson. Far corner, Steve Barnes for Lake State. Gets it out at center, and it's popped right back in the zone by Peter McLaughlin. Wrapped away at center by Brian Lonzinger. Gustafson has it. What a move. And he shoots it in. Did you see that move? Now Lonzinger with a block on the near rail. Tipped to center ice by Barnes. A 2-on-1 for the Lakers late in the period. Here's Miller moving in, shooting. Israel the save. He's pushed aside, I think, by the Lake State player Valasevic, hoping to jar that puck loose. It came loose for a second, but then Israel covered.
Boy, Miller makes makes a great rush out of this. What a nifty play he makes looking off the Harvard defense. He just makes a play here to create some space for himself on the rush. Watch him. He's looking, making him think it's a back diagonal. Gets the defender to just drop off him totally and walks in on the goaltender Israel to make the save. He just gets Bodie to walk off and watch him. Now watch him look back. See him look back. Makes Bodie think pass. That opens up a whole rush lane where he walks in alone. Israel just holds that corner. This is just a great play. Here's Gustafson. Look at this skating move here. Look at him. Watch him right here. Oh, boy, to the other side. Corey Gustafson. Just nifty as can be, like the ice capades here, Corey. Woo!
All right, so out of that little scuffle at the side of the net, we've got coincidental penalties. Valasevic is off, and so is Lou Bodie. And we're 5 skaters aside with 60 seconds to go in period number 2. Bounds around at center. Hops off his skates. Finally controlled by Baird. He gets it in. Wrapped right back out and all the way down by Matucci, or at least by the player Trzynski. It's an icing call. So for Harvard, they're pretty happy. 43 seconds left. They're going to have a face-off deep in the Lake State zone.
But, you know, the dangerous thing from their perspective is they have spent a ton of time in Lake Superior's in this period. It's been up against the wall most of the period. They've got a goal to tie the game. But in the last minute, who had the great chance? Yep. Lake Superior counterattack, great 2-on-1 chance, and Israel comes up with the save. And that's what they need to do. You know, they're just not going to dominate Harvard, I don't believe, as this game goes along, but they sure can't keep them off the boards.
Now, apparently that puck dropped unfairly or someone into the circle a little bit too soon, so we'll do it again. Beddoes is in there for the Lakers. And I think Chris Baird might be in there. No, we'll make it Brian Farrell for this face-off. 42.
Yeah, Farrell's very dangerous on the left side face-off. He's got a great one-time shot from that left side.
Wilner tried the other door, and he just made it out. Now about a half minute to go in the period. McCann flips it up on the near side. It's tipped out by Martins to center, but taken away again by the Lakers and shot back in by Brad Wilner. 20 to go. Forecheck pressure by Beddoes. And now in the near corner as well by Miller. Here's Beddoes once more. Trying to do it himself, gets the backhand off, but it's kicked away by McCann and all the way back out. And that should do the period. Just about 2 seconds to go. And the horn here at the Civic Center in St. Paul brings the second period to a close. So it was a horse apiece, one in the first period, one in the second period, and we're knotted up at a goal apiece in a pretty good game.
Well, I think it's exactly the way Lake Superior like it. They're tied up 1-1, heading into the third. Who takes over in the third period that counts?
So our intermission here in St. Paul will get underway in a moment with the stoppage. We'll take a break. Our score is 1-1 in the semifinal game.
Excuse me. Do you wear your safety belt?
Why, no. I don't wear my safety belt.
Thank you.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Prime Collegiate Championships. The menace of hoops returns with Slam Dunkin' Conference Championships. The ice heats up with all the big hockey conference championships. The speedsters take off in track and field conference championships. The Water Warriors get wet with swimming and diving. The Flexible display their winning form in gymnastics, their power and speed in wrestling. And the Swingers show their obsession for Omaha in baseball conference championships. Nobody covers more of the collegiate championships in '94. And you'll find them on Prime.
Is stripping old paint the coldest winter ever on record? You survived it. Want some heat? Turn to Pass this summer. The summer of '94. Pass Sports has got the heat. 70 live Tiger games. It's swing time. There's a new Tiger on the prowl for the pennant, and the balls are going to be flying out at the corner. Pass is packing a punch this summer. Lots of live boxing, Great bounce from the Forum and from the Prime Championship Tour. World Cup soccer fever. International soccer competition. Passports has got it. Plus hometown continental indoor soccer action. Tennis. The courts are smoking. Live tennis with all your big names. All summer long on Pass. Look out. Fast Track Thursdays return. Race fans know where it's at. Cycle World. And this week in NASCAR. Hey, Pass will keep you cool, too. Summer Cooler's the best of the Red Wings season, and we're going to even let you pick them. NBA's greatest games debut. The best ever out of the NBA archives. You can't get any hotter. The summer of '94. Passports got the heat.
Our second intermission gets underway here at the Civic Center in St. Paul. The Lakers won, the Crimson won here in this semifinal game. And a 1-1 game proves, I think, Bob, you don't need an 8-7 shootout to have a great hockey game. This has been a fun one.
It sure has. Lake Superior playing their style. Harvard trying to work through Lake Superior style to play their style and assert their style of play. You know, I just think it's been a great hockey game. You had that situation where Harvard was able to take advantage of one great scoring chance, make a great individual play to tie the hockey game up. But as the game went along, more and more face-offs in the Lake Superior end give Harvard more chances to score. And as this third period starts, I think if Harvard can continue to get face-offs in Lake Superior end and win them, they've got a great chance to win the game. But Lake State, they're in the hunt here, 1-1, heading into the third.
And playing pretty well in their own end. And a couple of guys that I've been noticing in the last 2 weekends, Steve Barnes and Keith Aldridge, a couple of defensemen. I know Lake State has what we would call a lot of interchangeable parts, but individually they've got some people that just stand out when you watch them one-on-one.
Well, not only that, but Barnes, in addition to his outstanding defense, has the only Lake Superior goal tonight this afternoon. So they've not only played well, they're an extremely patient team defensively and offensively. They just work their system, and if you beat them, you beat them, but they're going to do what they've been coached to do.
You know, this game is so quick-paced, the game of hockey, but yet the word we're hearing a lot this year is patience. Patience makes good goal scorers. Patience makes for good defense.
Well, patience as an offensive player makes a good goal scorer, and it really helps everybody. Patience is confidence.
All right, our intermission from the Civic Center will continue in a moment. We'll be visiting with Greg Burke, the tournament director for next year's championship.
You don't have to be 19 to have a body like this. You don't have to work out 8 hours a day. You don't have to be narcissistic or shallow. In fact, all you really need is $39 a month. The SoloFlex Muscle Machine. What are you waiting for?
It's a test of nerves, a play for perfection. The right combination can make you #1. Game, set, match. The ball, deceptive in flight, destructive with speed. Out of control, it will crush you. Mastered, it will make you #1. Prime Tennis. Game, set, match. Reach for the top. Game, set, match. Prime Tennis, all season.
Get ready for the hottest power play of the year. Officially licensed souvenirs from the 1994 NCAA Hockey Championship. So you don't have your ticket to St. Paul? No problem. Here's your chance to get a piece of the action through this special offer. Even if you're not at the game, if you call now, you can bring home authentic souvenirs from the 94 NCAA Championship. This exclusive line of officially licensed souvenirs is offered by Spectator Sports Services, the official concessionaire for the NCAA Championship. These top-quality products are the real deal and can only be purchased at the game or through this toll-free number, 1-800-921-NCAA. That's 1-800-921-NCAA. Don't delay. To get your official NCAA Hockey Championship souvenirs, call now, before their history.
Tie hockey game back here in downtown St. Paul. It's looking more and more like the next goal wins. And it's going to be an exciting one, not only for the finish of this year. We have a semifinal game left to go, and Saturday night's championship game. But then next year, it all moves east across the country to Providence. And with me is Greg Burke, who's going to be the tournament director out there. And already, this has been an ongoing process for you to get things ready for 95.
Well, this is the third straight year we've come to the national championship, and each year we try to pick up a few things that help us in our administration. And we really like the things we've learned here. We'd love to just take all these people back to Providence. Our building isn't quite this big, however.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. This is a few thousand more seats than what you have in Providence. What about the ticket situation?
Well, our building is going to dress for about 12,500, and we have, to this point, 9,000 tickets on sale left. We officially go on sale this coming Tuesday, and it's going to be catch as catch can. We expect to sell it within a week to 10 days.
Well, and we're going to pop up a phone number for you folks, too, if you want to get ticket information. 800-490-NCAA is the place to call. Get your ticket reservation set for next year. You know, now that you're here in St. Paul, Greg, what types of things have you learned, not only from here, but in some of the other tournament sites that you can carry with you back to Providence?
Well, we look at every aspect of the administration from the time we get off the airplane to the time we get here. We've had a very thorough site survey. We do everything from counting typewriters to wall socket outlets to looking at how the tournament was promoted and advertised and things like that. We really do a top-to-bottom look because we want to try to be the best tournament site ever. And if last year and this year are any indication, we have a lot of work ahead of us.
Well, I know you're going to do a good job on the tournament site. It's now up to the teams because they're the big players in this one right now. We'll be back for third period action here at St. Paul Civic Center. It's a tie game. It's going to be a dandy finish. So hang on, grab a cold one. We'll be back in downtown St. Paul.
Here's a brand new instructional pool video.
Pass. Sports stuff.
Hi, I'm Steve Garagiola, and I got to tell you, if you're a sports fan, you got to have pass. See the Wings, Tiger, Pistons, boxing, soccer, tennis, golf, summer coolers, and a whole lot more. And you can see all this for less than 35 cents a day. And you can still get in on that special installation offer. But when March is over, so is the deal. So call your cable company or 1-800-4R-SPORTS and get pass now.
Hey, it's swing time. It's swing time. 70 live games begin on Pass April 6th. The Tigers take on the Red Sox. Watch it live on Pass daytime.
You've never seen from some of the best talent in the U.S. See the who's who of college basketball. The NABC College All-Star Game. Live Sunday afternoon at 2 on Prime.
This is the NCAA Division I hockey semifinal, the first of two games here at the Civic Center in St. Paul. Nail-biting time. We're down to the last 20 minutes of regulation. Just a 1-1 game, and it's been a delight to watch.
Well, it has been. You know, Harvard ended up 1-0 at the end of the first period, came into this period down, and actually they dominated the last half of the first period, struggling getting goals. Blaine Locker so superb in the net for Lake Superior. You wondered whether they'd ever be able to score, but finally about the 13-minute mark, the big guy got one for him.
They were having their chances in close, so a bit of a surprise that this one came from as far away as it did, out near the blue line.
Well, it's just such a great goal by Brian Farrell. It's a center zone turnover by Lake State, and Farrell going right to left away from the net, shoots the puck left to right on the goaltender, and Locker just had no chance on that. If you see on the end zone camera, you'll see Locker. Watch this play develop. Lake Superior is going to have the puck. Here comes the pass out of the zone. Actually, that should not have been an unassisted goal. Somebody got the puck to Farrell. It should have been an assist. But then Locker pushes off that left leg to cover the wide side of the net. He gets beat back short side. No chance at all because he's got to cover the shot. You see, as a left shot here, he's got to cover the wide side of the net. Watch how he threads the needle. You can see Locker going left to right. No chance at all.
Well, we were going back to look to see where that turnover came from, but as it turns out, there should be an assist on this goal. Farrell, right now, they're officially calling it all alone, is 29th at 13:47 of the second period of play. So who you want to give the assist to? I can't remember who was out there.
Well, I didn't see who had it, so we'll have to wait and see. But I'll tell you, this is a very crucial first couple of minutes. My guess is that Bodie had the assist. because I think he was on the ice at the time, so we'll take an educated guess and give a star to the truck.
I'd say that was a wise move, Bob. That was a good call. Good guess.
But I'll tell you, this first 5 minutes is crucial. I think that if Harvard's going to win this game, they have got to take control of the period and not let Lake Superior keep it up against the wall in the third.
Wally says next goal wins it. Do you believe it?
No, I'm not sure about that.
All right, we'll see how the remaining 20 minutes of regulation unfolds as we come back to the Civic Center after these messages from the NCAA.
Check your calendars for next year's NCAA Division I Ice Hockey Championships, coming to the Providence Civic Center March 30th and April 1st, 1995. Tickets are available now, so put yours on ice by calling 1-800-490-6222. That's 1-800-490-NCAA.
The game of hockey requires hard work, but you need to work even harder to succeed in life. Life's no game. Make smart decisions. Don't use drugs.
If you or someone you know needs help or information concerning drug abuse, call this toll-free number, 1-800-662-HELP. This message provided by the NCAA.
College can be a bridge to the future. It's a place where you're free to express yourself. A time to find out what you're really capable of. But when testing your limits involves alcohol, when breaking away includes drinking and driving, when expressing yourself includes losing control, the lessons you learn in college may not help you get anywhere at all.
There's our score here at the Civic Center. Lake Superior State won and Harvard won as we get ready to start our third period of play. Shots on goal in that period in favor of the Crimson 9-6, and they have the edge also for two periods, 22-10. Now let's give real credit where credit is due. A great play by Lou Bodie.
Watch right here. Great play on the one-on-one. Here's Bodie. Here's Farrell. Watch what happens. There's Bodie. There's Farrell. Bodie makes a great play on the one-on-one. Slips it up the sideboards to Farrell, and off he goes. Great assist. Great defensive play by Bodie. Makes a superb transition to offense. Left to right. Right to left. No chance goalie.
Sweet goal.
Yeah, Lou Bodie's going to thank everybody down the truck for picking up that assist for him.
So he buys the Poppin' Pizza after the game, is that right?
The bottom line is get it right.
All right. Here's a look at Lou Bodie for Harvard, number 15.
He's played a lot of hockey for this Harvard hockey team over his career. He's from New York, the New York area, out the island, out of Planome, New York. Played for the Nassau County Lions. I think he's played about 116 career games. He's 3 games behind Sean McCann. Great golfer, played for the Harvard golf team. I think he's he's much better than anybody I would play against. I think he's a 2 or a 3. Great kid, veteran player.
So Bodie gets the assist on that goal. Tie it at 1-1. That was back in the middle of the second period. And we get ready. We'll keep our eyes on this one intensely here early in the third.
The tempo of this third period is very important. The first 5 minutes, I think, are crucial to determine how the period's going to be played. And Harvard needs to open the game up a little bit more. What Harvard has been able to do in the past is when they get a jump, when they get a goal, they're able to put a couple of goals together. So if they can get the second one, against New Hampshire, they scored 3 goals in about 3.5 minutes.
You were looking at Bodie and Valasevic off for roughing at 18:52 of the second period. And we had an offside at the line here. So we should be 5-on-5. Oh, there's the extra Laker. That's Meadows you're looking at. He kind of blended in with the bench from where I was standing. I couldn't see him.
What's that glass? That's what does it.
That's true.
Talk about the impact of the glass boards. We can't see guys that are lined up against the boards.
Camouflage.
That's right.
Third period just underway. And the Lakers back in their own end to get it. Rattled from in front of the net by Matucci to get it to center ice. And it slides in deep. McCann, first man to the puck. Trouble with his footing, and now gets a little bit of help back.
Well, 2 players did. One Lake Superior, one Harvard player. Both had trouble with an edge early in the period.
Laughlin helping out back there behind the net. Now Perry Cohagen has it. Tried to jump and check. yards offside, I would say.
That's right. It was about 5 yards offside.
And there's a look at Trzynski, who is just a walk-on player, but a worker. You want a guy like him on your team.
Yeah, he's out of Clarkson, Michigan. We've had some good pops in this game over 2 periods, and we start off the 3rd period with another one.
I felt it.
Aren't you glad you're up here?
Proved your point. I'll stay up here.
There's another guy that has played played superbly for this Lake Superior team out of Roseville, Michigan, Dan Angelelli. He was the forechecker on that play. But Jason Trzynski, you talked about him being a walk-on, pretty good walk-on, has, as a sophomore, has 12 goals this season. He was the MVP in 2 tournaments, the Mariucci Classic and the Great Alaska Face-Off. So that's pretty good production out of a walk-on.
Not bad at all. From the face-off, the Crimson control. It's shot around by Lonzinger to the far side. Gustafson had a crack at it, but Sean Tolaire took it right away from him, and now Harvard regains possession and work it up on the near side. Gustafson spins at center. Bothered by Trzynski, gains the zone, tried to fire it in front for a pass, looking to thread it through to Tom Holmes, and it just failed to click. Nice rush, though. Back at the line, Lonzinger centers it. That's deflected. And a nice steal by Gustafson. He had a magnet on his stick on that one and just sucked that puck in. Now on the far wall, here's Tom Holmes once more. Tried to pop it in front. Aldridge is there to break it up. Knocked down by Gustafson again. And he slips it in deep. Holmes behind the net. Holmes puts it at the side. Here's Gustafson again. Now at the side, Steve Martin circling away from the checking of Aldridge. Backhand, but it never got off. Would have been cute if it went in, but it didn't work. Sean Tolaire stripped of the puck at center ice. Good play by Martins to bring it in. And he and Tolaire both go down. Barnes behind the net once more. Far side, Wetherill. Now back for Barnes. Up off the wall to Miller. That fails to click. Half-Night has it for the Crimson. It rolled off his stick. It goes in deep. Played it away from Wilner. Now taking it in deep. Kirk Nielsen. And Nielsen comes out front back to the top of the circle. And the shot by McCann goes high. It's a 1-1 game. We're early in the 3rd. Lakers rushing it in over the line. Gerald Tolaire spun off the puck, and McCann clears it back out. Lays loose at center ice. Jumped on in a hurry by Karmanos. Jason Karmanos brings it in. The shot turned away by Locker, and it dribbled just outside the net. And conveniently or not, Locker went back into that goal hard enough to dislodge it and get a whistle.
Well, this is where Harvard is very, very dangerous as well. Transition offense from center zone. Jason Karmanos, left shot down the right side, has some net to shoot at, but he puts that right near side, and Locker makes a save. They just break it out of transition. Intercept from Lake Superior in the middle of the ice, and here they go. Watch, he's got a left shot side. Top of the face-off circle, snap it off, up in the air. So it's also dangerous when they come down in front.
Oh, yeah.
Jason Karmanos out of Orchard Lake, Michigan, played at Cranbrook School.
Smart play by Locker to bump that net, or nudge the net.
Nudge the net.
Pump and nudge comes out nudge.
This we talked about face-off. So Perry Gohagan goes to the front of the net, and off the face-off, Peter McLaughlin out of Belmont Hill School gets the puck on the left point. Now, Gohagan didn't get quite enough in front of the net to screen, but still, you continue to lose those in-zone face-offs and get shots on goal. Harvard's chances are markedly improved.
Gohagan out with Baird and Merrill on his wings. Strawn reaching for it. Angelelli picks it up, drops it back. Wetherill to help out. Skates it to center ice. Wrapped off his stick at the last second by Gohagan. Then he drives it in the zone. From behind the net, here's McCann. Got it as far as Baird, but he couldn't control it. Then Morin shoots one from the right point wide. Barnes elected not to play it at center ice until they wave off the icing. Barnes back behind the net. Harvard has completed a line change. Here comes Stephen Barnes to center. Watched by Holmes, and now brings it in. The D goes down, he centers it, and it comes off a skate. Holmes jumps on it in a hurry. Comes racing up ice with an defenseman, McGuire, and then had it stripped off his puck stick at the last second. Nice play by Wilner. Back behind the net, here's Holmes again. Holmes this time hangs on to it. Watched by Morin. And into the near corner, Gustafson. Back around far side. Martin whistles one wide. And it ricochets all the way back into the Crimson end.
That was a pretty low percentage shot. Martin was actually inside the hash marks. Not much of a chance for that to go in, but fired anyway.
Now they play it all the way down the rink. A bit too far for Aldridge, but icing waved off anyway. Waiting for it at the lines is Beddoes. He quickly turns it around to Sean Tolaire, and he is quickly turned around at the blue line, but play goes on. Diving play at center by Wilner to gain control. He left it for Beddoes. Good patience, kept that one onside, but then Harvard regains control. Now a little more free skating. 3-on-2 as they bring it in. Armano centering it. It goes all the way through, looking for the setup to Nielsen.
Waited too long to make that play.
Now back to center ice again. Here's Wilner. They stay onside. Sean Tolaire dumping it in deep. Wilner, the defenseman, takes the hit in the corner. And it slips around to the far side. Clayton Beddoes centering it. That was deflected. Sean Tolaire was open in front. And had Lou Bodie not blocked that one in the corner, Tolaire would have had great opportunity in front of the net. Here's Bodie trying to shoot it around. It comes loose once more. The Lakers, Beddoes, turnaround shot that's blocked. Beddoes again with the loose puck. He's run to the outside, hangs onto it again, and gets the shot off. A rebound! Pushed wide of the net. Great chance down low for the Lakers. I think that would have been Mike Morin or perhaps Wilner who was in deep. Let's make it Sean Tolaire. Here's Barnes, the defenseman. Matucci a backhand. That's blocked in front. Miller shooting. He didn't get all of it. Matucci shooting it through the crease. The rebound is stopped by Israel. The Lakers have really turned it up. Barnes a shot way wide of the target, and it's cleared by McCann out of the zone. That was the best sustained offensive pressure by either team in this game. With the timeout in St. Paul, the score is Harvard 1 and Lake State 1.
yards. The wind is blowing just ever so slightly downwind.
I am the ears, the eyes, the picture of sports.
Hello.
Oh, boy, how about
Foot
that?
right in the hole.
I am pride, and I play the world.
1-1 the score here at the Civic Center. It was nearly a 2-1 game on a couple of occasions.
Oh, tremendous pressure here by Lake State. Clayton Beddoes just putting on a show. And on the far side, Sean Tolaire almost knocks that rebound by. Then Harvard, disorganized in their own end here, just trying to cover people and prevent wide open shots. Israel off the shoulder. He's all discombobulated, trying to find the puck. It finally just flashes to his left. He freezes it. Puck kicks out to the outside. Wow.
Locker way out to play this puck away and is back out at center ice. A steal by Gerald Tolaire. He centers in, and the shot goes behind the net. Kurt Miller had the opportunity, but there'll be a Harvard penalty for hooking in front of the net in the Lake State power play coming up.
That was on Gerald Tolaire. It's a hooking call, and what happened was they mishandled the puck just at the blue line. McCann has the puck, and he's going to mishandle. Watch right here. He gets himself in trouble, and here he comes, puts the hook on, and out he goes. The penalty, I believe, is going to be on number 20. Peter McLaughlin picks up his second penalty for hooking. That was McCann late coming in to clear the puck. McLaughlin on the hook. Thought he had control. The puck didn't. And well, I'll tell you, Lake Superior very quick to take advantage of the power play here.
McLaughlin, the sophomore from Needham, Mass. at 6'2".
Played for Kenny Martin at Belmont Hill School. There's about 3 or 4 players on this Harvard team who played for Ken at Belmont Hill. He runs a tremendous hockey program at what is a superb prep school right outside of Boston in Belmont, Massachusetts. People from Needham.
Power play number 3. The Lakers are 1 for 2. Have had only 2 shots on goal. Boards, Tolaire played it back behind the net. Lakers in a tie game with the man advantage now. Lots of time in regulation. Puck comes into the corner. Batted away to the boards. Cleared by Baird, not out. Kept in by Ness. Here's Gerald Tolaire centering it. Sending a wraparound try. Ness. Across to Aldridge. Ness again. Now down low, and they pop it right in front again for Civic. Aldridge, Ness, Gerald Tolaire, roll into the corner. playing it back to the point. Hops on here. Can he hold his own? Yes, it was dead on the line. In the corner now, Gerald Hilaire right in front. Intercepted cleanly and shot all the way down. I think Brian Farrell back.
Well, that was outstanding shorthand play by Harvard. Lake Superior zinged it around pretty well, but Harvard maintained superb in-zone defensive position. Watch out here.
Civic got him back to the line, and Beddoes broke up that rush as the Crimson looked like they wanted to come up by shorthanded. Back to the far point. Here's Aldridge. Cross to Barnes. 45 on the man advantage. Barnes again. Now a pass to Aldridge, and a high shot. Tom Holmes has lost or broken his stick. It's all the way out at center ice. Holmes, number 21, running around in that high slot area, and it's shot all the way down by Bodie. 30 on the power play. Barnes behind his own net. Beddoes skates by, has the puck. Now moves it ahead, looking for Tulare. Instead, he drops it back for Wayne Strawn. Just 15 on the man advantage. And broken up on the far side by McCann. Lead to Sean Tulare off his stick. He is held up a bit at the blue line, and that allows the Crimson to reject it. And the penalty now to McCarran is over. We're 5 skaters aside. The penalty killers do the job. Lakers to center ice. Barnes flipping it in. And into the corner it goes. Half-night first man there, but he takes a check. Now Morin battling to get it free. Lakers gain control. Miller slips it in deep, taken away by Baird. He's in a tough battle along the rail. Centering pass by Morin, skips all the way through. Here's Sean Tulare, watched by Bodie. Now Miller picks up the loose puck. Tulare behind the net now. He's knocked down by Bodie. Here comes Morin shooting, and that's turned away. Miller gets the loose puck, but it's taken away from him by Farrell. And Farrell moves it up the right wing board, skating at the center. He's spun around. There will be a penalty. It was a second or two late in coming, but there would be a call.
Crowd might have called that one.
All right, with the break in the action, we will take a break. Coming back with another power play. We have a 1-1 hockey game, and that's the infraction.
Check out the sticks. The big sticks. Shots. 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 The hot shots of the NHL get their AT on Fruit Presents Hockey Week. Every week on Prime. Check it out. It's end-to-end college hockey highlights from across the state with in-depth coverage of all the leagues. Get stuck on College Hockey USA. Every week on most Prime affiliates.
Well, watch it right here. This is Morin. He's going to pick up the penalty. Here's Morin. He's going to pick up the penalty. Watch right here. Watch it develop. Morin. We've seen that all night. Hasn't been called lots of times. Called there, and Harvard's going on power play.
Well, no, actually, there's another one in the box. Bob, last second call. Brian Farrell's matching penalty going off, so they're even.
Oh, that's unusual.
Farrell, I think, got the high stick, and Morin perhaps a hold or a hook.
They might have missed it and evened it off.
Oh, no. They wouldn't do anything like that.
Oh, that was strange. I didn't see anything that Farrell did there to cause that penalty.
Yeah, but a puck leave the rink in a stoppage.
At any rate, they got matching penalties. The call originally on Morin was extremely late. Very late. And after he called it, we end up with matching penalties.
Penalties now 6 minors aside.
Yep. 6-6.
Jeff Jackson looking on. Face-off will be just inside the Harvard blue line. Beddoes there for the Lakers. Facing off against Kirk Nielsen, a sophomore from Grand Rapids, Minnesota. From center ice, it is shot in deep by McLaughlin. 5 skaters aside on the ice. 1-1 hockey game. And we're almost to the halfway point of the third. At center, Clayton Beddoes. Flipping the check by McLaughlin, but McLaughlin got the puck, and then it gets a little rough at the blue line. Boy, did he stand up there nicely. Peter McLaughlin at 6'2" and 205 didn't budge an inch.
We've had a very well-officiated game right from start to finish. But that last matching call was a little strange. Peter McLaughlin, big kid, 6'2", 210 pounds, 215 pounds, gets racked late by Weatherill up against the boards.
Broke up the rush, though.
Yep.
Paid the price, but broke it up. Here's McLaughlin with it again. Out at center, it deflects, it dribbles all the way down. Weatherall goes after it, and giving chase is Carmanos. Meadows waiting for it. Out at center off a skate. Now brought in by Sean Tolaire. Gets the shot off. Aaron Israel had a little trouble with that one. A little snaky around the feet.
He lost it from the stick to the skate, and then he had it in the position really couldn't find the puck.
Forechecking pressure applied by Danny Gallardo, a line that we haven't seen much from Lake Superior State. Off the wall it comes. Here's Tolaire. Tolaire to center, drops it back, gets free, fires a goal! Nice move by Sean Tolaire, then he fires it upstairs. Lake State has a 2-1 lead.
Well, this is an innocent-looking 2-on-2 that because of a pick coming across the middle, Harvard's defense gets all messed up and Tolaire ends up alone. Watch this play develop. Tolaire with the shot upstairs. That's the goal. Now you're going to watch it from a different angle. You know, it's an innocent-looking 2-on-2. Watch the play develop. Now, right here. Watch right here. 1-1-on-2. That's an easy defensive play, but watch what happens right here. Bang! Right there. A pick right through the middle that set Tolaire loose. That's the interference. That's the interference.
It is, and it was Clayton Meadows who was the man going in.
You know, that is a pick and it's interference. But it's a goal nonetheless.
10:29 the time. The goal goes to Tolaire. Meadows gets the lone assist.
You can't run, you can't pick. You know, that's an illegal play. They don't call it, but this is clearly interference. When you come down the ice, it's 2-on-2. There's the pick right through defensively. They pick the man responsible. They're running a switch. He was trying to cover over. He's trying to come over, and he gets picked off the play. Can't possibly come over. You can either play that zone or man-to-man. They played a man-to-man, and the guy responsible for Tolaire, he got picked off the play.
Number 21 this season for Sean Tolaire. And the Lakers, who had a lead for much of the first half of this hockey game, have the lead again. Now we keep a more important look on that clock. Sean Tolaire, the goal scorer. He is the younger brother of Gerald Tolaire. Gerald, however, is just in his freshman year. Puck kicked away by the goaltender Israel. And it's loose in the corner. Steve Martins goes after it. And right at the side, Angelelli tried to jam it in. Now a little rough play on the other side. Jason Trzynski taking his man down. And out of that pileup, we'll see who's going to go. It might have been a high stick out of there, Trzynski. Or is he going to get called for a hold? Right now, he's unhappy with the whistle either way.
Well, Trzynski is definitely going off.
Am I? Well, one up and one down, and I guess the one who's up goes out. With the timeout, we'll take a break here. Score is 2-1.
It's showtime. Showtime. Hey! Whoa!
Outdrive your partner with this half-hour instructional video, free with a one-year subscription to Golf Digest, just $19.77. Call 800-522-5333. Imagine this video and Golf Digest. Call 800-522-5333.
Picturesque Civic Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. Nice attendance here on the Thursday afternoon, 15-5 for the semifinal game. The home side Gophers of the University of Minnesota will be here tonight against the Terriers from Boston University. And any empty spot you see here will be filled up tonight, I'm sure.
Jason Trzynski off, 2 minutes for holding Harvard on power play. 8 minutes to go in the game. This is a crucial stage of the hockey game. Harvard 0 for 3 on power play tonight. This is a team that is operating at about 34% effectiveness most of the year, and they're 0 for 3. Lake Superior has done a great job in short area.
Out to center ice, they skated ahead. Chris Baird lost it at the line, and Aldridge is there to shoot it all the way down. Baird back to get it again. He is second in scoring for the Crimson. Now overskates the puck. Gets a little help. And they flip it in deep. It's driven around, comes off the wall to Martins. Martin's had a roll off his stick. McGuire shooting that goes wide. Out blocked behind the net by Farrell. Farrell playing it back to the blue line again. McGuire in deep. Baird shooting just wide. Looked like he might have had that top corner far side, but it hit the glass. Here's Farrell. They score to tie it. McCann was right there.
I think it's Sean McCann.
The power play finally clicks for the Crimson, and it's a 2-2 game.
Well, that's what they're going to try to do all the time. They're going to try to hit McCann. This is Martin going to try to get the defense to move on Martins, get it into Farrell. Now watch McCann sneak inside. You see him? He snuck right inside defensively. I think he just chips in that rebound as he sneaks inside the Lake Superior defense. Watch this right here. Keep your eye on McCann. Watch right here on the left side. This is the guy you're going to look at in the end. Here's the shot. Puck goes into the zone. Martins is going to have it outside. Now watch what happens. Right here, watch, right here. There's the guy to cover him. Here's McCann, sneaks inside him. Pass comes over. Shot, rebound in. That's the way they get a bunch of them.
Right across the front of the goal mouth. That play leads to the 22nd goal this season by Sean McCann. And it, more importantly, ties this one at 2. Only 7.5 minutes to go in regulation play. And we are even. Farrell will get one assist. Here's a break the other way. Long shot turned away by Locker as Jason Carmanos had another nice rush up the ice. Back out at center. Bodie plays it across. From center, they try to slip it in. Well, the Crimson were down 1-0 and tied it at 1. They were down 2-1 and have come back to tie it at 2. Barnes from the blue line shovels it deep. McCann behind the net looking for Farrell and finds him, but a puck gets away from him. Civic to his own defenseman Wetherill, and now back into the Crimson end. From center, it's shot out by Bodie. Bounces down at the line to Baird, knocked away from him, and it's back to center ice. McLaughlin shooting it in. Barnes, first man of the puck with Baird circling out in front. Here's Barnes up off the wall. Brzezinski, the drop to Beddoes, who brings it in. He's bumped, he hangs onto it, puts it right in front for Tolaire, and a big save by Israel. You can't take Beddoes off the puck once he's got it. Popped loose to center ice, and Wilder goes after it. He's just masterful when he's got it. Now Wetherill at center. Up off the wall, they shoot it in deep where they're going to wave off the icing. McGuire, first man of the puck, he's checked by Tolaire. Tipped free at the line. It's loose in the slot. Sean Tolaire lines it up. Van on it as he fired. Martin's exploding up the right wing boards. In pass, Beddoes, right in on goal. Locker gets a piece of it. What a race by Martin's up the right wing board, and now Locker gloves it and holds on. Whoa, those were sparks coming from his heels.
Well, the Harvard fans have been waiting for this all night long. Watch him on the right side. Stevie Martins. He gets a puck, and he's got great acceleration. A tip in front. Lake Superior had a great shot. Now watch right here. Watch Martins. Tremendous speed on the right side. Watch him fly. He can flat out go, and then Locker, he knows. Big trouble here. Look at Locker way out in front of the cage. Comes out aggressively, makes the stop. Martins can't get upstairs on Locker, and Locker smothers it. This is what you see coming at you. Locker is going to go down, but Martins can't get the puck up. Puts it right at him. Locker, great stop there to keep this 2-2.
Right from the face-off, the puck gets through everybody, and back into the Harvard end. From behind the net, they will set up. Wires pass up on the right side. Skated to center and brought in. A 2-on-2 rush is broken up by Civic. Now Angelelli waiting for the loose puck, gets it out at center ice. 5.5 minutes left in regulation. We're tied at 2. Aldrich, first man of the puck, and Coughlin closes in on him. Instead, they work it around to Morin. He is covered on the play by Carmanos. And now Matucci takes a check from behind by Kirk Nielsen.
That's a dumb penalty.
Boy, is that dumb ever.
That is a very, very, very bad penalty. You can't take one worse than that. Yeah, he has just, he takes a run at him from about 10 feet away. It's not a good penalty.
And Matucci in obvious discomfort. Wow, that was almost too obvious to believe.
Just in this stage of the game, this is just, it's clear Matucci's back's to him all the way. Now, that's clear. not even close. That 5-minute penalty, 5-minute major penalty, 5-minute major penalty, and that's a good call.
Yeah, it is. We were just talking earlier. You check from behind on the wall. It's in the book. You're going to get 5. Sometimes they'll change it to a board so they don't have to call checking from behind. You can't change this call.
Harvard's over there talking with the referees, but that's clear cover.
All right, while they tend to him, we'll take a break. The timeout on the ice with the score tied at 2. We'll be right back.
You don't have to embarrass a friend to keep her from drinking and driving. You could just explain things to her.
It's 6:45 and our party's at 9 and I still got shopping to do. But if you drive, you'll have to drop me off and pick me up and then I'll be late and you won't be ready. So I'm going to drive and drop you off and then we're going to do all the things I need to do and I'll be back in time to help you set things up. Okay? All right.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A 2-2 hockey game here at the Civic Center with 5 minutes left to go in the third period. And they're tending now to Mike Matucci down in the Lake State zone, who was slammed up from the wall from behind. He is now up on his skates, and that is a good sign, but still getting some help from his teammates. And a round of applause from the fans here at the Civic Center.
Well, I'll tell you, Lake Superior State has had experience in overtime. That's how they got here. After not having beaten Michigan all season long, they ended up with overtime in Michigan in the regionals to get here to Minneapolis and in overtime.
They have a lot of tournament experience, and they stay cool in those situations. That was Wilner from the right point who said, I heard somebody calling, but I couldn't see who it was, so I threw the puck in the middle. And it was Civic who said, I don't remember how I shot it, but it went in, and it was the winner. They won 2 overtime games that weekend, winning on Saturday against Northeastern. Mike Morin scoring there.
We have a 5-minute major penalty here on Kirk Nielsen. That means with 5 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the third period, the score tied 2-2. Lake Superior is going to be on power play for 5 minutes of the 5 minutes and 7 seconds. Regardless, if they score a goal, they'll stay on power play.
Major penalty does not expire, but a power play goal is scored. Kirk Nielsen is off. He's a sophomore, hoping for a chance to play tomorrow night, or on Saturday night against his brother from Minnesota. Well, we'll see if he's taking the Crimson out of the game with that penalty.
I wouldn't be surprised at some point in this shorthand for Coach Tomasoni to call a timeout so he can rest his top shorthand players. It's very difficult to run all your top shorthand guys for 5 minutes straight. The point being, you only have 5 minutes left to go in the game, essentially, before you get to overtime. There's no tomorrow if they score. They stay on power play. So you have one timeout you haven't used yet. If you want to keep your top guys, Martins and Farrell, and those top guys fresh, you need to call a timeout about halfway through this shorthand to give yourself a break and really break the shorthand into 2. You have one 2.5-minute shorthand and another 2.5-minute shorthand. Very tough to kill 5 minutes. You kill everybody on the team.
So basically right now, Harvard is going to be hoping for an overtime game. I don't know that they're going to be going up ice much. Long shot goes into the corner. Here's Gerald Hilaire after it. 4.5 left. It's cleared far side. Here's Ness. His pass is deflected and hopped away from Bear. The Lakers jump on it again. And now, finally, it's shot to center by McCann. Tangled up in skates. He shot it as far as the line, but no further. Not far enough for him to go off on a chain. Bear breaks it up at center. He glides it all the way down. I think we're going to have a penalty coming up on Lake State out at center ice. I think Steve Martins was upended. And I believe a Laker player is going to go. An interference call at center ice in a tie game late. You rarely will see that.
It's going to be an interference call on Gerald Hilaire in the middle of the ice. Right there, Hilaire is picking up that penalty right in the middle of the ice. Gerald Hilaire. It was a funny kind of play in which Hilaire didn't look like he was going to do anything with Martins. Watch right here. Right there, he sort of runs into Martins. But Martins does a Academy Award fall, catches the referee's attention.
That's all you want to do.
And ends up with the penalty interference.
So the interference call at 15:51 will take some of the heat off the Harvard penalty killers at least for 2 minutes.
And 4-on-4 presents some advantages to Harvard now. They have some superb speed, and in this situation of 4-on-4, Lake Superior is a good 4-on-4 team, but Harvard has great speed.
Up off the wall on the far side. Right now they're going with Carmanos and Steve Martins up front. The guys who can scoop. And that's Carmanos circling in front of the net. Now Wayne Strawn for the Lakers at his own line. And he'll be happy to go back. Maintaining control. Chased by Carmanos. Brings it in. And ran into a thundering check from McGuire. That was a good, clean, open ice hit. Martins in the corner. Back around to McCann, and now up off the far wall for Carmanos. Kept alive by Barnes. Wrapped free to the near corner. And as they grind it out, the Lakers get control. Wilner shooting it back around. McGuire waiting for it. He gets it to the line, not out. Kicks free again. In the slot, it's broken up by Brian Lonzinger. Lonzinger darts behind the net. Still a minute to go on that penalty to Tulare. Now the lead to the line, and apparently offside at the blue line. That pass just inches away from sending Coughlin in free.
That was a great pass. Lonzinger had it just inside the dot. And watch what he does as he gets the puck. He sees him all the way. He can watch right here. There's the break. He's coming. He can see him trying to make the pass, but watch him go offside. Gets the pass. Can't quite control it. Losing it on the bobble. Goes across the line. The puck behind him.
You've got to have control of that puck as you bring it in. Even if you're the first guy in the zone or not. Now from center ice. Still 45 left on that minor penalty to Gerald Tulare. And then the remainder of that major penalty to Nielsen will kick in for a power play opportunity for Lake State. John Tulare, the drop pass. A save, a wraparound try, and they couldn't pull the trigger. A couple of good opportunities for Wilner. Thought for sure he was going to stuff it in the wraparound, but he came from behind the net without the puck. Tom Holmes now off to center ice. Finds Halfnight, the defenseman. Halfnight got around one. His second effort is turned away by Locker. Halfnight, a defenseman with a great rush. Beating one defenseman, but then couldn't get around Aldridge, went crashing into Locker.
Well, I mentioned this to you before earlier in the game. Ashlyn Halfnight is a great skater. He has tremendous speed and ability to keep his balance. The freshman out of Toronto does a superb job here. Goes to the front of the net, works off the check of the defender Aldridge, and gets a backhand shot that Locker smothers. Just tremendous speed. Halfnight, not only speed, but what I've noticed about him during the year, he's got great balance. What a play that is. That was a la Bobby Orr against the St. Louis Blues. You know, that leaping goal in front of the net.
Classic.
Not to put any pressure on Ashlyn Halfnight for the rest of his career.
He won't mind. He won't.
But he can
Freshman played with the U.S. World Junior team out at the World Championships.
He's got a great talent. He's a naturally skilled player.
15 more seconds remaining on that penalty to Gerald Tulare. Then Nielsen will be the only one in either penalty box. 2:24 left, you see, here in the third period. In regulation time. Into the corner it goes for Barnes. Barnes jammed up on the wall. He was checked on the play by Farrell. Civic trying to get to the loose puck. Gets it to center. Here's Aldridge, the defenseman, who fires. It's off his skate, goes wide. Aldridge brings the play. The penalty to Tulare is over, and now back on the power play with about 2 minutes to go in the regulation. Right in front for Tulare. And Israel knocked it right off his stick at the last second. And then the Crimson shoot it all the way down. It comes bouncing in on Locker. And he'll leave it off as the Crimson make a change. Now 1:48 left in regulation. About 1:40 to go in the penalty. Far side of the rink, Gerald Tulare now back behind his own net. Looking for Aldridge. Aldridge wraps it out at center. It comes bounding down to McGuire, and he wraps it away. Aldridge at center again, shooting it in. Round on the board, Martin's waiting for it. Martins finds an opening and shoots it all the way down. Locker plays it away. 1:20, the clock you see is left in regulation. There's 1:12 now left in the penalty. Lakers to center ice. They have one power play goal in this game. They move right in. Off the stick at the last second. A great chance in close for Kirk Miller to put this one away. Now Miller in the corner. Miller in traffic, lost the puck. comes Stephen Barnes right in front of his own net with Martins right there. Now gets some help from Beddoes. Beddoes hits the line. Drop pass. The shot never reached the net, and it's clear. Far side strong. They work it in deep. And it's shot around on the near board. Beddoes waiting for it. Beddoes to the line. Barnes, 19 on the power play. Pass to the side. Israel making the save on the shallow angle shot, and he covers up to hold on.
Boy, in that series there, great puck movement by Lake Superior, and right at the end of the play, looked as if Israel took a whack right on top of the head as number 8, Mike Morin, was camped right to the left of the net. Great 2-on-1 chance here. Miller all alone in front. Israel's out of the play, but as he went to the backhand off the dribble, there's Strawn with the pass. Miller, watch him go to the backhand on the dribble, and he loses it. He had a wide open net, and he'd been able to control that one.
Now Harvard looks like they want to make a last-second change before this face-off.
Well, they have 15 seconds left in the shorthand, 22 seconds remaining in the period. You know, these in-zone face-offs are crucially important, particularly when you're man down, and they score here, and it's all over.
Strawn against Farrell. Draw to the Lakers. Aldrich, screen shot, blocked by Israel. Farrell couldn't get to it. Aldrich does. Sends it towards the net. It's knocked down in front. A nice play. Then it's rushed to center ice. Rushed ahead by McCann. He got it in over the line as the penalty is over. Seconds remain. And as they shoot it in, Israel steers it away. We're headed to overtime here in this first semifinal game.
Yeah, what a tremendous third period as Harvard hangs in there, coming back, scoring a power play goal by Sean McCann to tie this up after Lake Superior went ahead, and we've got a 2-2 game as they worked out of a 5-minute major penalty, a little break with a 2-minute minor on Lake Superior in the middle of it, but Harvard walking off the ice, skating off the ice now. I think they're looking at it as they're very, very fortunate to be tied up 2-2 and having a chance to go in overtime.
Lakers have had the only leads in this hockey game, and now they'll have one more lead for one of these teams in the overtime period. We'll be back with more right after this.
With the reunion just 2 weeks away, I thought I'd never fit into that dress. I never thought I'd be that fat. Then Sandy said there's only one solution, Accelerex.
The 14-day Accelerex program is doctor-approved for fast weight loss. It's 100% guaranteed to help you lose weight faster than you ever thought possible or your money back.
I did it. I dropped 2 dress sizes in just 2 weeks. And you can too with Accelerex.
I'm Cindy Serwinski, and I lost 8 pounds in my first week. The Accelerex program really helped me lose weight fast.
I'm Louise Lynch, and I lost 9 pounds in just 2 weeks. Don't wait. Make the call.
Call 1-800-672-4499 for your 14-day Accelerex program for only $12.95. Call 1-800-672-4499. We accept all personal check and credit card orders by phone. Call 1-800-672-4499. Remember, have your checkbook or credit card ready when calling.
Want to get high? What's the matter with you? You scared?
You lost, little boy?
You in the wrong place.
To Victor, this isn't just a drawing. It's a cry for help. Every day, real kids like yours live pictures like this. Listen to the children. Fight back against crime. Call this number now and learn how to protect your children from drugs and violence. Together, we will take a bite out of crime.
It's a 2-2 game. We are headed to overtime here at the Civic Center in St. Paul, Minnesota in this semifinal game. Bob Norton, I know you were out at the East Regional. The guys in the truck are a little upset with me because over at the West Regional, they're blaming me for forcing 3 overtime games out of the 4th.
Well, I love overtime. It just brings more excitement to college hockey. You know, we had an ebb and flow period there where Lake Superior started out dominating, and then Harvard got the power play goal, McCann, and then, you know, just that goal by Lake Superior, just an unholy pick run on the Harvard defense that set up the goal for Talaire. That would have been, I can't understand how that wasn't even more controversial than it was. If it would have happened to me, I'd still be out there arguing. But nonetheless, it's a 2-2 game, and Harvard has to hold off a 5-minute major penalty. Then Lake Superior gets a 2-minute minor in the middle of it, and then great chances for Lake Superior right at the end of that. The last 15 minutes were just great college hockey.
There has not been very much undisciplined play in this hockey game, and the Nielsen penalty certainly would be at the top of the list, although it is a short list.
Well, he's a kid, and kids make mistakes, you know, and he made a mistake, got a penalty, and that's it. It's over. Fortunate for him, coming out of the area and being the Minnesota Player of the Year back in 91-92, that he's not the go to the game. He got the major penalty, and he escaped with his life. So that it's a mistake, but you just write it off, trying to do it again.
The bullet was dodged, to say the least. So it sends us to overtime, tied at 2. We'll have more of our overtime intermission right after this timeout.
America fell in love with the Singer Handy Stitch, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Introducing the Singer Tiny Tailor. There's nothing tiny about the features. The true lock stitch assures durable, secure stitches all the time. Choose the long stitch for most of your mending needs, like fixing hems. The short stitch for extra delicate materials or tighter stitches. When you're finished, reverse stitching keeps your work secure. Tiny Tailor features a drop-in bobbin, a pop-up bobbin winder, a free arm for sleeves and pant legs, and a real foot control so both hands can guide your fabric. There's even a fully packed storage drawer and a fold-out carrying handle. All this for 3 easy payments of only $19.95. Order now.
Don't send any money. Just call 1-800-845-9000. We'll bill your credit card 3 monthly payments of only $19.95 plus shipping and handling. To order your Singer Tiny Tailor, call 1-800-845-9000.
There's no zone like the Snow Zone, a dimension of sports for frostbitten folks of all ages who love going up and getting down on the hottest slopes in the world. Whether you're a snow bunny or a downhill daredevil, the Snow Zone is the show for you, with everything including ski tips, hot travel spots, and getting vertical with the pros. The Snow Zone will chill you and thrill you. The Snow Zone, all cold in flu season on Prime.
Sudden death overtime, sudden win overtime is coming up. Next goal will win this hockey game. Will it go 1 overtime, 2, 3, or 4? Who knows? But we've had a lot of them so far in NCAA playoff competition in our field of final 12. Now we're down to 4 teams, and Phil Bonifaco, you've had a lot of opportunities to watch a lot of hockey here. You're the hockey expert with NCAA. And this has been a great game. I think it's something everybody expected.
It's been an outstanding game. A great game that, as you said, everyone expected, and we're certainly looking forward to a great game tonight as well.
When you take a look at the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, what does the NCAA have to do to get ready for a big tournament like this?
Well, this is a year-long or even 2 or 3 year long process that we go through to prepare a site to host the championship. Right now, we're working with sites next year and all the way through 1999 to host future championships that we were excited about.
You've already had your hands full covering a couple of hockey tournaments so far, Division II and Division III.
That's correct. Division II was actually held down in Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama, where Bemidji State traveled down there and beat Huntsville in a mini game, 2 games in a mini game series. And then in Division III was hosted up in Superior, up here in over in Wisconsin, where River Falls beat Superior in the championship game.
Now, we were talking at lunch the other day about what might be the fate of Division II hockey, because there's only a handful of schools competing on that level. Do you know what's going to happen from there?
Well, right now there's legislation that was voted in at the NCAA convention this past January that will basically has established new limits or minimums needed to sponsor a championship, and the new limit is 40. Right now, there are approximately 14 schools that sponsor Division II hockey, which would mean after the 1995 championship that championship would be eliminated unless 40 schools are sponsoring the sport.
So that could be unlikely. But at any rate, next year you have to look ahead already probably to Providence.
That's correct. We are preparing with Providence. There are actually 6 delegates from Providence here in St. Paul taking a lot of notes. And after that, we head to Cincinnati in 1996, which a lot of people are excited about in the central part of the hockey community. 97, the 50th anniversary of the NCAA championship, we're going to Milwaukee, back to the Bradley Center where we were last year, and everyone really enjoyed that atmosphere there. In 1998, we're going to the new building in Boston, the Shawmut Center. People are excited about the new, quote, Boston Garden. And then in 1999, some people are already asking for tickets in 99, wanting to go to Anaheim, California, which is a stretch for hockey, but we're going to the pond in Anaheim.
Well, right now we're going to be back to the pond here in downtown St. Paul. We're overtime bound. Who is going to go to the championship game? Stay with us. We'll find out with you.
The legendary Ginsu knife, the sharpest offer on television. But now there's Ginsu World Class, the finest knife in the world.
Finer than our German knives?
Yes, even finer than our own classic Ginsu. The high-carbon stainless steel blade has incredible strength. Even with abuse like this, it still never needs sharpening. Nothing cuts it like the Ginsu World Class. It's as simple as that. Even with its unique triple ground curved blade, it's yours for only $29.95. Complete with this double guarantee. Plus, these steak knives and accessory knives free. Order yours now.
For rush delivery, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-522-5333 or send $29.95 plus $5.95 shipping to Ginsu World Class, P.O. Box 4943, Department P, Omaha, Nebraska.
For the greatest highlights, for the finest insights, for the latest game, set, match. The WTA Tour Magazine features the best of the Women's Tennis Association. The WTA Tour Magazine on Prime.
Lake Superior State has had the only leads of this hockey game, but the Crimson of Harvard have kept coming back, and this game is tied 2-2 as we are about to begin our first overtime period of play here at the Civic Center in St. Paul. Overtimes are certainly thrilling, Bob. I'm not sure exactly how you coach for them because you never know how long the game is going to go.
Well, I think that most coaches will tell you they try to get out and get it right away. Most of the overtimes that I've ever been associated with end up early. They tend not to drag on, although I saw one this year in the Hockey East playoffs. UNH against Boston College went the longest game in UNH history, went the 10 minutes of the second overtime. So they can go on for a long time, but the history of them over time has been that they tend to end early.
This hockey game was tied at 1-1 going into the third period of play, and then the Lakers get a bit of a break here.
Well, you have a situation where Talaire's got the puck, and watch Beddoes. He just cleans out Lonsinger here on a pick, and that sends Talaire in alone. Talaire upstairs, Israel for the goal. That was a big goal for Lake Superior because it put him ahead by a 2-1 score, but, you know, that's just an unholy pick. And no call, so it was a great play by Clayton Beddoes. And Sean Talaire in alone puts it away.
Yeah, take nothing away from that shot by Talaire to get his 21st of the year. Beddoes the lone assist on that one at 10:29. Then a power play goal. They work this one right across the goal mouth.
Well, they do a great job inside. The shot comes from the outside by Harvard as they work it in. Baird gets it. Now they cycle out of that corner. Inside, Martins gives it to Farrell. Farrell will come out, wheel around by the dot for the shot. Rebound, McCann. He puts it in. Right shot, Camp to the left of the net.
So we got some goal scorers doing some work in this hockey game as Martins indeed will get an assist on this one. McCann, his 22nd of the year.
Yeah, and they love to do that, as does Lake Superior. They love to have that guy inside the goal line, wheel out by the dot, and get the shot on goal. And when you have Farrell come up behind the goal line, he's a left shot, so he's got a lot of net to shoot at, and McCann puts it in.
Now, this is what we were wondering if it would cost the Crimson the game, a checking from behind penalty.
Well, Nielsen with the check, he just had a run from about 15 feet away. Just a very, very unnecessary penalty for Minnesota, but for Nielsen and Harvard, they dodge it, and they're in the locker room 2-2 tie.
There are the goal scorers we were talking about. Talaire, his 21st from Lake State. McCann, his 22nd for Harvard. Farrell and Martins will get both the assists on that Harvard goal at 12:28, which has us where we are now, headed into overtime. Shots on goal for this game favoring Harvard, but by a slight margin. As you see, Lake State came out with a real strong third period.
Lake State took the third period away. They did a great job. You know, that third period was up for grabs. Lake Superior had been dominated a little bit in the second, but they came back
very strong in the third. They have been an outstanding third-period team all season long. You don't get to this level unless you're a good third-period team. Overtime's a wholly different ball game.
All right, so does a team that can skate have any advantage over a defensive team, or is it the other way around in overtime?
This game has been extraordinarily even. It has been a game of ebb and flow, and it has been a game that has gone really to the team that has gotten the jump early. Lake Superior got the jump in the third. Harvard needs to get the jump early here in the overtime.
Harvard may say, hey, we got a break on the last penalty. We dodged that bullet. Maybe this is our day. Maybe we'll get the next one. They could come out with some fire in their eyes.
Well, Lake State has to go back in the locker room thinking a little discouraged that they didn't score that major.
So the overtime face-off here at the Civic Center in St. Paul will be coming your way in just a moment. Don't go away.
Our planet's rainforests are burning. Less rainforest means less rain and an even greater threat from global warming. Right now, you can join the National Arbor Day Foundation and support rainforest rescue. Your call will mean that the wildlife, plants, and people that abound there will not be lost forever. In the few seconds I've been talking, a forest the size of 5 city blocks went up in smoke. You'd better call now.
Along with Wally Shaver and Bob Norton, this is Frank Mazzacco in St. Paul as we get ready for overtime. This year would give us the most overtime games ever in NCAA ice hockey tournament competition. We've had only 9 games so far this year, and this is the 4th going into overtime. So the committee's going to say, hey, the computer did a good job of picking the teams.
Well, the pressure's right here. Aaron Israel out of Carlisle, Massachusetts. Number 1 in the country in win percentage, 3 shutouts over the season, number 2 in goals against, and he's the man of the hour right now. And at the other end of the ice, what a spectacular game he has had as well out of Medicine Hat, Alberta. Blaine Locker has had a great season, top goalie in the CCHA. He's done it all in his 3 years at Lake Superior.
Our man Wally Shaver is standing by at ice level. Waltz?
Well, I found out what's happened to Mike Matucci. He's gone back onto the bench for Lake Superior State. He will not skate, however, in the overtime period. He's got a slight concussion, but he's good enough to stay in the game, at least on the bench as a spectator, and see if he can't guide his Lakers on with some sentimental value by being on the bench.
All right, Wally, thanks very much. And there is a look at Matucci. You saw the check by Kirk Nielsen that took him into the wall. Tucci, just a sophomore, but I think plays a lot larger than that. He's a
big kid.
moxie guy.
Yeah, 6'3", 205 out of Trail, British Columbia. Played in junior hockey in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League for Estevan. There we have the most overtime games in the history of the NCAA tournament. We've had 4.
All right, we're ready out at center ice.
Early or late? What do you say? I say early.
All right, I'll go early. We'll go down together on this one. And there's a look at records of these 2 teams in overtime. We get a moment here. We'll tell you how they have done against various teams. That's the blue line. That puck got through the defenseman McCann. And Israel covers up and holds on to it. Harvard has had wins over Brown, Princeton, Dartmouth, and St. Lawrence. Their only overtime loss was to BC in the Beanpot. Lake Superior State has been involved in a ton of overtime games, as you saw, with wins over Notre Dame, Minnesota in the tournament in Minneapolis. Kent State, Northeastern, and Michigan, their losses have also been to Notre Dame, Michigan, and Western Michigan.
That overtime loss in the Beanpot was a funny kind of loss. Tommy Ash from the red line from way downtown on a little flipper shot beat the goaltender to win the game in overtime for the Eagles of Boston College.
There's McCann shooting it around, trying to find McLaughlin. Now McCann again. This time McCann throws the check into Angelelli. On the far side of the rink, it's controlled by Peter Cohagen. And now here's McCann again. Boy, that's Angelelli right on the doorstep. Cohagen out at center ice, gets the puck off his skate, gets it in over the line. And now redirected back to Strong. And his right wing shot turns out to be a rocket and sails up into about the 2nd or 3rd level of seats.
Crucial things as we start this overtime period. If you're Lake Superior particularly, you just don't want to take a penalty. You don't want to have this situation decided on a Harvard power play. Harvard had the power play goal to tie it. They don't want to give up another one. This puck goes way up in the air. Strawn, outstanding forward. Watch this, deflected off the stick of Lonsinger. A great year for Strawn. Strawn, Beddoes, and Balasevic. 70 points between them, 32 goals, 38 assists on the season. Tremendous scoring from those 3 guys.
Right now, grinding away in the corner. Wire is there, so is Martins for Harvard. Thomas three. Tip by Trzynski. Here's Beddoes. I think Beddoes is going to figure in on the game he has had. The game winner that is. Here's Beddoes behind the net. And picked up by Trzynski. He spins around and gets the shot off, but it comes into the corner. Now works to center ice where it's touched at least by Corey Gustafson, and now the Lakers jam it right back out to Trzynski. Bodie cuts him off in the pass, won't allow him to come into the middle. And the Lakers hang on to the puck. Sean Tolaire whips it in front. Here's Trzynski dropping it back. Gerald Tolaire trying to play it away. That's back to the line. Here's Aldridge shooting. Screen shot never reached the net. Off a body and into the corner it goes. Gerald Tolaire drops it to Trzynski, who cuts in, gets free, puts that shot wide. Could have been a hold out there in front, but they let him play.
They're not going to call many of those right now, I don't think.
Now back into the corner it goes. Still early in this overtime period, tied at 2. Puck bounds around, and all of the play so far has been in the Harvard end, where right now we've got an injured player, and that's Lou Bodie down.
Yeah, he was down for a few seconds. Bodie got whacked right inside the goal line in the right corner, and play went on for a few seconds out of the zone, and referee blew the whistle calling time. Bodie, number 15. Watch what happens to him. He's inside the goal line. He ducks the check. That's just a bad position to put yourself in.
Probably got his head bent down.
Yeah, you just can't. You're trying to get out of there, and once you get your head bent receiving Gerald Tolaire's check, that's not a penalty on Tolaire. He just was going in to press Bodie up against the boards, and Bodie got himself in a very, very bad spot.
Plus, he was out from the boards just enough that he was going to feel the crunch from in front and behind as his back end hit the boards.
Yeah, the best bet is to turn your shoulder to the checker coming at you, but if you bend over, it just puts you in a very, very precarious position.
So it brings a bit of a hush here to the crowd. We've, in the last 3-4 minutes of play, seen a couple of players hobbled up. Mike Matucci.
Lake Superior has clearly had the best of the overtime pressure thus far, as they've been all over Harvard and the Harvard defensive end. There's the senior Lou Bodie from Plano, New York. He's had a great game for Harvard, a great career. I think he's second on this Harvard team behind McCann in games played in his career. Has been a regular on the Harvard team right from the get-go as a freshman.
And an alternate captain for the Crimson. Well, they've got him moved around, and that's a good sign, because if the injury is serious, you're thinking about snapping something in the neck the way he went down, they wouldn't be moving him at all.
You see his frustration. He's angry that he's not playing. From the standpoint, you've got an injury, and that's your primary concern, that whoever's injured is okay. I don't think that Lake Superior had the momentum at the beginning of the overtime, and I suppose that the timeout affects them because they had most of the pressure on. But
we mentioned a couple of the wins by Lake Superior State. Those last two that we talked about were last weekend in NCAA playoff action. Both thrilling victories up in East Lansing, and here is a goal I'm sure they're going to see an awful lot up in the Upper Peninsula. This Rob Balasevic one-timer from Brad Wilner, just perfectly executed, even though they were sort of communicating in a fifth plane, if you will.
I think what's interesting from Lake Superior's standpoint is they gave up, they won 2 6-5 games. They gave up 10 goals in the 2 regional games, and they come in here against a wagon offensively, a Harvard team that is a great offensive hockey team and has been splendid in the playoffs. You see the score there that they beat New Hampshire. That's a little deceptive. It was 2-1 heading into the third, and then they got 3 goals in just about 3-4 minutes. But what they've done here tonight has been to hold Harvard to 2 goals after giving up, averaging 5 goals in the 2 quarterfinal games. So that's really a credit to their coaching staff and the players to put together a scheme of defense that has kept Harvard down to 2 goals. And Harvard, to their credit, has had to persist through some of the toughest checking and closest checking defense. I think probably the closest checking defense that they've had to face all season long.
Lake Superior State, on average, will hold their opponents to about 2.3 goals a game. All right, about that average now. Here's a look at that head again. Bodie, well, he's just ducking. You can see ducking for cover, and as you mentioned, Bob, that puts him, especially that neck then becomes vulnerable. But what they're really looking at, though, are his legs, which got pushed into the boards first.
When you get hit like that, just everything shakes and nothing works much for a little while.
Harvard with a big goal differential in the numbers as they come in.
Yeah, they've got an outstanding trainer down there, too. Dick Emerson has been at Harvard 22 years, so he's very skilled, former hockey player himself, and he's very, very skilled in treating these Harvard players, as all these trainers are, but sometimes they don't get any credit for all the things they do with on-ice first aid. But Dick Emerson on the right there
we talk about skill level of players and how it has elevated itself to a science. How about the training profession? Those guys there's no more Coke bottles to rub out kinks in your legs anymore, are there?
Dick Emerson's one of the best. He's one of the best in the country. He's, as we said, 22 years at Harvard, and loves hockey, loves the hockey team, the hockey program.
Harvard shoots this one all the way down. It'll be an icing call and a face-off back in their own end. We're very early here in this overtime period, about 2.5 minutes in. The game is tied at 2-2. Stephen Barnes with the first goal of this game on a power play back in the first period. Brian Farrell scoring for Harvard in the second to tie it at 1. And then we showed you third period goals from Sean Tolaire and from McCann.
Now, I tell you what I do think has an impact on the flow of the game. When you're a team such as Harvard that has great veteran leadership, and you see one of your veteran leaders off the ice, obviously hurt, I do think that has a negative effect on how you play.
Miller kicks the puck around and is driven in deeper by Weatherall. And the Crimson get it. Launched to center ice by Martins, knocked down at the line, and played right back out by Wilmer. And turn brought to center now by Halfnight. His pass ahead for Tom Holmes, and he was bumped off the puck. Now brought in Kurt Miller. Going right in, and a nice crawling play by McMahon to break it up. Back to center ice. Holmes carrying it in. A little crisscross. Halfnight took a check and lost the puck, and the Lakers back to center. Lots of skating now. Aldrich, the defenseman, shooting. And a big block there by Lonsinger, and the puck is underneath him. And he'll stay down there to get that whistle.
Absolutely, and that's a smart play. First of all, that stung him a little bit on the shot by Aldrich, but Lonsinger does the smart thing here. What you absolutely don't want to do is when you're on the ice flat, you can't get up off the ice and leave the puck. This is a great play by Lonsinger. Plays over on Aldrich, gets down beautifully to block the puck, and then smothers it underneath him. And he got up there, and that leaves you in a vulnerable position, and you get up off the puck, and you're out of the play. Brian Lonsinger, one of those guys that played for Steve Dedichin, former star at Harvard, high school teammate of Robbie Fedoruk. Steve Dedichin was, and Lonsinger played down at Choke Rosemary Hall.
Tomasoni lists his play this year as one of the best surprises for the team. 2-2. Drawn in the corner, right at the side for Morin. Morin will try to wrap it around again. He scored the game winner against Northeastern last weekend in a very similar manner. Weatherall at center, launching it in. Skipped wide of the net. Israel leaves it behind the net. Now forechecking pressure hard by Angelelli. That just has him bottled up. Rolls off a stick again. And to the line, it dribbles to center. Pumped back in by Wilner, and then he was plastered by Cohagen.
Boy, Harvard has been back to the wall most of this overtime period.
Strong reaching for it. Morin at center, shooting it in. Israel out behind the net to gain control. As both teams making big changes here on the line. Spinning with it, McLaughlin nearly handed it away to Sean Tolaire. And it's loose back out at center. McGuire gains the zone. Can far side right in front, and it gets away from Kirk Nielsen. Sean Tolaire, the lead, got a breakaway by Beddoes. Score! Beddoes! And it's over in overtime, 3-2.
And this play is going to break right up the chute as they lose their defenseman in deep. Watch right here, watch right here. Here it comes. Defenseman lost. Breakaway here, breakaway there. Here it comes. Beddoes gets the puck.
One shot to go 5-hole. Finds the 5-hole for his 23rd.
Well, it was one of those plays that Harvard, after finally getting off the wall in their own end, had a chance to get up ice. They got very aggressive on the rush. Lost the defense on the right side, half lost the defense on the left side, and here it comes.
Hilaire will get the lone assist. 4:16 the time of overtime, and that game-winning goal by Clayton Beddoes. Beddoes, a second-team West All-American, getting the game-winning goal. While they congratulate one another on the ice, it gives us an opportunity to pass on special thanks to the NCAA Ice Hockey Committee and its chair, Rick Comley, tournament manager, Pat Tapp, and tournament media coordinator, John Painter. From Lake Superior State, we pass on thanks to athletic director and coach Jeff Jackson, as well as his staff, sports information director Scott Monahan, and from Harvard, athletics director William J. Cleary, and head ice hockey coach Ron Tomasoni with his staff and sports information director Kathy Leonard. Thanks to all who helped us immensely to get ready for this one. So the Crimson walk off dejected, and it'll be a Lake State celebration as they get ready for the final game. Lake Superior State 3, Harvard 2.